Probando, testing. Okay, the mic works. Okay. We should be good to go, guys. And to those wondering about that other VOD, let me just say this. I was just reacting to an episode of Friends. So for those of you wondering what that background noise was, because I saw a couple question marks in chat, that's all there was to it. Like, it's really awkward in retrospect, because that went on for like 2 minutes. So yeah, I understand why people are confused. That's really all I can say in that regard. But what's up, guys? It has been... Actually, not even 24 hours ago. I stopped streaming last time because yesterday we finished at around 8 p.m. It has been 18 hours since I last streamed, and the only reason we're standing here today is because I don't work today. Mexican Independence Day is tomorrow. Normally I'd get tomorrow off, but because of company policy and apparently according to some petition, I get a day off today instead. So, and you know what? Who am I to argue against it, to say the least? I will say this though. It has been... When did I end stream yesterday? 8 o'clock. It is 2 p.m. right now. Yeah, it is like 2:30, almost 3. Okay, 20 minutes to 3. It has been 17 hours since I last streamed. So I'm not gonna lie, my voice feels a little worn out, so I'm gonna try to speak a little more softly than usual. And I just realized I need to switch the tabs. And for some reason, Chrome is not being detected on OBS. Hello? There you go. You know what? Sure. But alright, guys. What I want to start with first, though, I do want to get to Toonshi's first Owl House video. I do want to make a tier list for Season 3, but I kind of want to hold out a little bit longer just to make sure enough people get in chat to get opinions and whatnot. You know what? Let's go to the tier maker first and foremost before we get started. I mean, I have to get here to get started. Ugh, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, guys. The Loud House. We're just gonna do Season 3 today. It's very unlikely that I'll do anything past Season 4, guys, just because, well, that's when the seasonal rot really started to show. Y'all already know how it goes with this freaking series. So I don't know as far as tier listing is concerned, I don't know what I'm gonna do after Season 3, to be honest. But alright, guys. Happy Monday. Oscar, hello. Welcome to the stream. How's my holiday? It's been very peaceful so far. Like, instead of waking up at the usual 5 a.m., I woke up at 7 a.m. Like, I don't know. Like, most of the day, I've just been taking naps and just really, I've pretty much been in bed pretty much the whole morning and and a good chunk of the afternoon. Other than that, I'd say for the most part, I'm fine. But alright, guys, before we get to it, before we get to the tier list, I want to wait for more people to, I want to wait for more people to show up in chat. You know what? I completely forgot to set up my laptop because my laptop is basically my second monitor on stream, and I completely forgot to set it up. Just because I forgot that I'm not using my capture card today, so streaming is complicated, guys. It's definitely a lot of managing. A lot of micromanaging, so to speak. Maybe there's a reason I quit it altogether back in the day. Or at least a couple years back. But to be fair, that was just owed to the fact that I got an actual job, more or less. But alright. What time is it, by the way? Okay, it's 12:45. You know, we'll start at around 10 to 3. I don't know. Season 4 is the last episodes with the original staff besides Kevin and Whitney? Really? Yeah, that more or less makes sense. And also, I mean, we all know how we feel. We all know what the general consensus is with Season 5 and beyond. That's when the show really started to get bad, and I mean, it's just theoretical talk, but Season 5 is essentially when all of Savino's influence around the show was more or less gone. Any rough drafts, or at least it's just any rough drafts, any drafts of any kind with Savino's work and direction, it's more or less gone. It's essentially gone in Season 5, or at least that's my theory on it. Right, but alright. Really? You think Season 4 is the only one where Kevin wrote decent episodes? Like I said, guys, Kevin is capable of... Sullivan is writing... I'm just gonna call him Sullivan. Kevin is just a little too informal. Like, Kevin Sullivan, he's more than capable of writing decent episodes, but... One, they're one in between, and two, the best episodes he's written, he didn't write them alone, so I can't give him all the credit there. I think we've been getting out of the seasonal rot recently. You think so in Season 9? Like, I don't know. In here where I'm standing in Mexico, they've only aired around 6 episodes of the whole season, so I can't really judge it just yet. And we already know how I feel about Season 8. I got a whole 40-minute video about it. But all right. Where the heck is Season 3? Loud House Shorts, Universal Rankings, Seasons 1 through 3. Nah, we're just gonna do individual seasons. Don't ask about this. Who the frick is Oliver Davis? Okay, I don't care. Loud House Villains, Loud House Family, Graphic Novel. I'm pretty sure one was for Season 3 was already set up. Is this it? Okay, is my mouth a little too close to the mic? It feels that way. I looked at the VOD yesterday, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, okay, this is Season 3. Okay, good. And you can see the whole title card. Okay, I am totally down for that. Especially with the camp. Yeah, I've heard virtually nothing but good things about the camp arc, but at the same time, I'm not gonna get my hopes up too high, to say the least. But alright, let's give it a few more minutes. We'll give it about 4 more minutes before we get into what we gotta get to. Although I will say, other than Toonshi's Owl House video, what else am I gonna watch today? What else am I gonna co-host, for lack of a better term? Do you think they had to rewrite scripts because Chris left or trying to complete what he had left? I mean, more or less. The last episode he was involved with in terms of... You know what? Let's see. Let's see. What was the last episode where he was credited as director? The last episode he wrote was White Hair. But the last episode where he was credited as director, I want to say it's somewhere in season 3 or season 4. Let's investigate, shall we? Let's see. Instagram, Chris Savino. Right after Instagram. Right after, okay, Kyle Marshall. Amanda Rinda. I don't know how you pronounce that. Okay. He does get credited for No Place Like Homeschool. He does get credited for City Slickers. Not for Fool Me Twice. He does get credited for Net Gains. And for Fandom Pains. And for Rita Her Rights. Teachers Union. Is that the last time we see it? Nope. He gets credited in Head Poet's Anxiety. And The Mad Scientist. Yep. Not credited, but he is credited for Frenzy. When was the last? I need to know for sure. When's the last time he gets officially credited? Because keep in mind, guys, he got fired in like late 2017, and these episodes aired in the middle of 2018. Down and Out. Does get credited in Ruthless People. Uh-huh. Okay, not credited there. Not credited there. Not credited there. Not credited there. Not credited here. Okay. I'm guessing that's where the train stops, more or less. You know what? Why am I not surprised that the guy who wrote, created the story for LS for Love wrote one of the worst episodes in the whole series, at least in my opinion. Okay, looks like that's it. You know what? We'll check. Let me check the whole season just to be safe. I think that was it. Yeah, Rubiner is credited here. So yeah, about halfway into season 3 is the last time he's credited as director, more or less. You know what annoys me is when people act like Sega aren't as greedy as Nintendo when Sega is charging $70 to $90. Really? I mean, to be fair, the Sonic Racing, whatever that new Sonic Racing game is called, I don't think they make the call. Do they really? Do they really call the shots when it comes to the pricing? I honestly don't know for sure. Okay, no more Savino by the looks of it. Oh God, racing! I just realized I just looked at Racing Hearts. Okay, why can't I see the image? Hello? Gotta react. Okay, Jorge, you've been asking me like 3 different times. You gotta keep reminding me, man, because I keep forgetting. It's definitely, I haven't forgotten, but okay, I definitely did forget. Okay, it looks like the last time Savino was credited as director was not Scales of Justice. Hold on, a little bit further. Yeah, What Would Lincoln Do? Around halfway into season 3 is the last time Savino gets credited as director, and I'm willing to bet he's got nothing. He has absolutely no credits in season 4, other than the title card. Hot take: the season 5 Lincoln Christmas episode is the last great Lad House. Really? Season's Cheatings? I think it's a good episode. I think Season's Cheating. It's my favorite Christmas special out of all of them. Like every now and again, like all the bad seasons, they have a hidden gem here and there. Like I'm not gonna deny that. Okay, there's all the Casagrandes episodes. Honestly, to this day, guys, it feels so tacky that they, in order to promote this cheap spin-off, they just took up production slots of another TV show. Like it's really nauseating. It just tells me that the executives, the studio or whatever, they just had no faith in the idea. And you know what? We know how they turned out. Canceled after 3 seasons with abysmal ratings through the roof. So yeah, apparently halfway into season 3 is the last time Savino was credited as director, let alone a writer. But all right. Okay, there's enough people in chat. It's around 450. It's around 451, 251. Sorry, my clock My clock says 14:51 instead of 2:51, so I was a little thrown off there. Would be cool if I did a bid where I pitched one episode with a major development for each of the siblings. That sounds really tedious, Superstar. I'm not gonna lie. Let it sink in. Everyone loses there at $80 for a new Mario game, gets huge backlash, but nobody cares when a new Sonic racing game costs $90. I'm guessing it's a collector's edition of some kind, but yeah. This pricing is just getting ridiculous. Even with all the tariffs and whatnot, the pricing is just ridiculous. But alright, let's get to Season 3. Okay, you know what? I'm not sure if this is the... I'm not sure if I like the titles for these categories. Hold on. Here, we're gonna call you... We're just gonna call you Peak. We're gonna call you A. We're gonna call you B. Here, we're gonna call you... Let's go with Yikes. You know what? Yikes, all caps. You know what? No. You know what? I like some... I don't know. I want my adjectives to be a little unique. So... Yeah, we're gonna go dog water. Yikes. You know what? 2 negatives ones is a little too excessive. So... We're gonna go alright. We're gonna go meh. We're gonna go good. And then we're gonna go peak. Wait a minute. Is alright spelled with 2 L's or just one? Probably just one. Just by the looks of it. But alright. Since Lori had the college arc, Luann has Benny and the coffee stuff, Lenny has ringers, you mean Reiningers, Lisa has Darcy. I mean, what can I do with these characters that hasn't already been done, more or less? I don't know. It would just take a lot of thinking. Tripped is bad for me. Maybe low. Really? People don't like Tripped? I thought it was fine. Not their best half-hour special, but definitely not their worst either. Like, I don't know. The pacing is a little clunky. It has a couple funny moments, but yeah, it's nothing amazing. Like, I wouldn't lose sleep if it never happened. How would I rate this? Okay, so the family, they saved up for a vacation, they go on a road trip, they get screwed over, they keep making these constant stops, they end up on a prison bus, they fix a broken airplane, they barely make it to the hotel in time, turns out the guy, I don't know. Like, it's a little cluttered when it comes to all of the ideas it presents, and that's really just owed to the fact that, like Tucci said yesterday, this episode the show's quality, more often than not, it really hinges on the show's energetic pacing. And Trip, it's a half-hour special. It really doesn't it really doesn't pace itself it tries to pretend that it's a 10-minute episode, but it's actually 20 minutes long. So I'm gonna place it in high alright, to say the least, just because I can think of much worse episodes from this season. But alright. Things with more thought could cause a banger vid? I don't know. How about a proper conclusion to what, Tails? Oh, for the show? For the series? I honestly don't hate that. Well, okay, White Hair. Y'all already know how I feel about White Hair. Best episode in the whole series. Peak character development, peak continuity. It's actually really funny. It has an homage to the rough drafts of the series. Like, it's got a lot going for it. By far, my favorite episode in the whole series. It introduces... dare I say it, the definitive love interest for Lincoln. Not that it's really a criteria for a good episode, but it's definitely a good step. Definitely a step in the right direction. If only they actually followed up on this properly, but... like I've said time and again, we know how that turned out. So yeah, White Hair... we are never gonna get another episode like this again, are we? But alright. The Loud House finale written by Icy, I'd watch that. I'm not too... You know what? I don't mean to toot my own horn. I really don't, and I'm not going to. I'm not exactly... like, I did go to college to study film, but I'm not exactly the most experienced writer. Know what I mean? So I don't know how that would play out, to say the least. Obviously, with enough thought, it definitely would be... I would believe in my work in some capacity, but at the same time, I try to be humble about it. But alright. Can we agree that Thanksgiving special is F tier? Is that from season 3? Okay, it is from season 3, yeah. Again, even though, just like with the Halloween special, I don't get to see it on public television unless unless it's Halloween unless it's around November time, which is weird because Mexico doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. So I don't remember a lot about it, but I don't remember it being anything crazy. Like honestly, anything with the Casa Grandes is instantly a C tier or less. Like honestly, most of the time, it's just every episode where they're allowed to interact with the Casa Grandes, it just gives me the vibe of look how buddy are with his family. Please go watch our failing spinoff. Like I don't know, I just can't shake off that vibe of them just shamelessly plugging their spinoff just because they don't have any actual faith in it. But all right. I could totally see the Loud House crew writing a sitcom about Bowser and the Koopalings. It feels like, okay, that is very contrived, random doctors. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button on the stream just for the sake of supporting the channel. It helps a lot, and it's really the best way. Liking and subscribing is the best way to help the stream. Support the channel as of right now, so do me a favor. Do both. Pretty please. I already see where the next one after Tripped is going. What? Instagram? I mean, I don't hate it. Myrtle's a very memorable character. She's voiced by a very talented actress that I'm occasionally a fan of in the form of Jennifer Coolidge. I actually really like the character. Like, as we come to learn later, she's had a career as a spy. She's retired now. She's dating Pop, but she never got married beforehand. She never had a family of her own, so that's why she gets attached to the Louds too quickly to the point where she's overbearing. So it's a really interesting character, to say the least. I'd say it's decent. I'm gonna put it in high good, if not low peak, to say the least. All right. Myrtle was such a sweetheart, yeah. And her voice actress really carries it. It's a damn shame that they had to recast her for whatever reason. I genuinely wonder why, though, because I'm genuinely wondering why. I guess Jennifer Coolidge was out of budget eventually. I don't know. Just my theory. All right. Roadie to Nowhere. Luna is going to participate at some sort of music festival at her school, but then she sees that her roadie was also an alumni at her high school, and she sees that he lives in his van, so she's worried that she's not going to make it as a rock star, so she starts taking up other jobs, but then she realizes that, hey, as long as you're passionate, as long as you put enough effort to it, things will be fine, and you'll always have a backup plan. And honestly, the messaging is a little bold, but at the same time, I can respect it, more or less. I mean, I studied film in college, and I've hardly ever had a job associated with my career, so associated with that degree. So it definitely resonates with me in a certain capacity. So I'm gonna put it in high good. Definitely one of Luna's most solid episodes. Not the best. There's definitely better, but it's up there. All right, a fridge too far. Okay, like I said, just like yesterday, guys, I gotta learn to speak more softly because apparently my landlord already complained about me once, so I definitely gotta speak a little more softly. You know what? Let me lower the music. Okay, I don't know if it's my headset, but I need to lower the music volume too. All right, Jennifer Okay, I will say this though. Okay, the Minecraft movie as a whole, absolute crap, and even with Jennifer's performance, I did not enjoy her character or any of the movie. But honestly, I don't blame her in that regard. She was just there for the paycheck, more or less. Scheduling constraints, maybe for Jennifer Coolidge as Myrtle? Probably. Like, I definitely found it to be really jarring that, like, I don't know. It would have been really nice to hear Jennifer Coolidge throughout No Time to Spy, but one of the few good Jeff Sayers episodes? What, Bridge Too Far? Okay, I can't see the writer from here. I'm assuming you're referring to that one. Yeah, I more or less agree with what we read about what we saw with Tunchi yesterday. Definitely respects the classic Loud House formula of the family shenanigans. All the kids start fighting over their labeled leftovers on the fridge. They start setting up booby traps so that nobody gets them. And then they set up a color-coded system on the fridge that actually backfires, and it almost screws over their dad's chances of winning over a private investor. And then it turns out the private investor really likes his leftovers. So Lynn gets the funding for his restaurant. Like, I don't know. I definitely remember the episode being very funny. So I'm going to place it in high good. You know what? Maybe low peak. I kind of hate the fact that I didn't talk enough about it in my best episodes video. Like, it's definitely a very memorable episode. I guess I just couldn't get my thoughts together in time. But all right. My favorite joke in Phineas and Ferb? Hmm. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the classic, like the pre-season 5 episodes. It's been a very long time. Hmm. I would say from the first movie from Across the Second Dimension, where Doofenshmirtz is like, "Oh hey, I tried the robot army, and I tried to build a robot army once. I put the self-destruct button at the bottom of their feet. So you know what? Let me just show you, man." I actually looked at this clip this morning for completely unrelated reasons. Hold on. Let me just show you my favorite moment.
Wow, that is scary. I tried that robot thing once too. I hid the self-destruct button on the bottoms of their feet so no one could reach them. And
Oh my god. I'm sorry. That's comedy gold, man. But all right. That's probably my favorite Phineas and Ferb moment off the top of my head. But all right. Lynn Sr. was able to win over the investor. That shows how a home cook can be chef material. Yeah. Home cooks are definitely, usually most of the time, a very talented home cook can always be chef material. If you're going to watch a video game movie with Jack Black in it, just watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yeah, the Minecraft movie, absolute dog water. And don't even get me started in all the problems it caused in actual public theaters. 2 words. Chicken jockey. That's all I can say. Alright. Selfie improvement. Lori gets a little too obsessed with taking selfies just to keep up with her self-imposed rival of Carol Pingree. But then, she accidentally forces Bobby to drive 3 hours after a surgery for a selfie, and then she realizes, oh gosh, maybe I'm taking this too far. And then it turns out, not only is she jealous of Carol Pingree, but it turns out Carol Pingree is more or less jealous of her. And honestly, that was the spark for a really interesting dynamic, but unfortunately they didn't do much with it, so I'm gonna give it a low good, if not a high alright. Alright. Oh my gosh, Erica, please, guys, please do not spam chicken jockey in chat. Please don't. This is coming from a certified culinarian? Okay, boo, okay. I'm assuming you have some sort of credibility. Even though the conclusion for Stella improvement is nice, Lori forcing Bobby to drive to her immediately after the dentist is still crazy. Yeah. What was it? He had his wisdom teeth removed? Like, yeah, I had to, like, when I was around 15, I had 2 premolars removed from my mouth just so my braces could do their job, and I was in constant pain for like a whole week. Like, having your teeth removed is definitely a miserable experience. Like, the last thing you want to be doing is driving. But Jesus, man. Like, honestly, it's a genuine miracle that Bobby didn't cause an accident on his way to meet up with Lori. Realistically speaking. I imagine as a Finavella shipper, you were probably not happy with the Ferb joke from the time travel episode. I took it ironically. I thought it was funny. Like, yeah, everyone and their grandmothers know, especially Ferb, that Isabella's eventually gonna end up with Phineas, and I'm glad the narrative went in that direction, because otherwise, what are we doing, man? But alright. My problem with season 3 is just how bad the endings are. Yeah. I don't know. Let's look into the rest of the episodes, and then I'll make my own judgment. All right. No Place Like Homeschool. This is the one where apparently Lola is homeschooling because of her pageant career, and all the other siblings get jealous and they want to try it for themselves, but then they realize it's not as easy as it looks. Like, I don't know. But then at the time of their exam, more or less, they all pull an all-nighter with Lola's help, and as a result, they all pass their exams, but ironically, Lola doesn't, so to make it up to her, they go back to school while she can keep homeschooling. I don't know. Nothing too exemplary or outstanding, which is saying something for a Lola episode. She is the best Loud sister, in my opinion, so in terms of character development, the design, pretty much everything. So I'm gonna give it a high med. This might change to a low alright, depending on how things go later. Alright. I did for 2 years in associates in culinary arts and a year for a certificate in baking and pastry. Okay, Boots. Just from that, like, I don't know. Something about just having a chef in my chat, like, it just makes me want to ask for food. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm a little too gluttonous. But then again, you know what? My gluttony days are behind me. Like, a couple years ago, I used to weigh around 220 pounds. Nowadays, I weigh around 192. So, and maybe I should keep it that way. Like, it definitely took a lot of discipline for me to lose the amount of weight that I did. Also a bit of unemployment, but that's besides the point. Alright, City Slickers. Lincoln and Lori are visiting Ronnie Ann and Bobby in Great Lakes. Like, honestly, the side plot of Lori, getting accustomed to the big city, like, honestly, it's really forgettable. But Ronnie Ann and Lincoln's plot of Ronnie Ann being ashamed of being from Royal Woods just to keep up appearances with her city friends. Like, honestly, it's slightly above average character development on her end. Like, yeah, she moved, she's grown as a character more or less by this point, but it definitely ties a couple loose ends in terms of her personality and her bond with Lincoln. I don't know what to make of it. It's alright. There's a couple moments I enjoyed, but for the most part, it's relatively forgettable, so I'm gonna place it in high alright. I was homeschooled from 1st to 8th grade, then went to high school. Wow. Never met a lot of homeschoolers in my life. Like, honestly, it's not a really common practice, although in this day and age, in the era of COVID, in the era of way too many public school teacher allegations, yeah, I don't blame any parents if they want to start with homeschooling, to say the least. All right, Fool Me Twice, April Fool's Luann episode. As much as I love Luann, none of these episodes are good or morally condonable. So yeah, first dog water of the stream. But all right, net gains. Which one was this one again? What background character got way too much screen time throughout the series? Sam. Off the top of my head, Sam. The one character on the top of my... Yeah, also Flip. Flip is disgusting and unappealing. Sam is just bland and uninspired. Like, those are definitely the top two. The Mad Scientist is a peak Lisa episode, and then the ending happening and all the episodes burn in flames? Really? How did that play out exactly? Lisa took residence at that facility. She starts missing her family. She starts yearning for all their loving gestures, like Lenny zipping her, Lincoln making sandwiches for her, just having the family, she just really starts to miss her family's company. And then, how did it end? Like, apparently she went back in time or something like that? Yeah, the ending is a little silly. Nothing too egregious, but, and at least in my opinion. But yeah, it definitely could have been, the resolution definitely could have been a little better. Base for putting Fool Me Twice in garbage. All of the April Fool's episodes are in the lowest tier, unquestionably. Except maybe the first one. That one's slightly better. It's not as egregiously insulting as the rest, to say the least. Like, it's a shame too. All of Luann's episodes. I will say this though, guys. Stage play. The episode where Luann and Benny got together. It honestly has a lot of good character development. Benny definitely doesn't feel one-dimensional, especially compared to Sam. Like, when we get to it, more than likely, it's gonna be low peak or high good. I'll tell you guys that much. I like Luann. I really like a lot of her character development, but all the April Fool's episodes are a complete miss. But alright, net gains. Lynn forms a basketball team. She's stuck with the underdogs, more or less. She replaces them with a pair of tall girls from out of town, but then she learns to appreciate her team. Her original team, even at the expense of a win. I don't know. It's nice to see Lynn get humbled, but at the same time, it's not a very memorable episode, so I'm gonna place it in low meh. Although maybe it's just owed to the fact that Lynn is my least favorite Loud sister by default. That's just me, though. Alright, Pipe Dreams. Is this the one where the parents get a bathroom for their own room, and then they start mistakenly believing that their kids are using it behind their backs, even though they never told them the bathroom existed? Then they get trapped in the bathroom. Like, I don't know. I remember it had a lot of funny moments, to say the least. Even if it's a little too silly sometimes. So I'm gonna place it in all right. You know what? Let me You know, the reason I remember this episode the most is ironically because of a moment with Lynn. Let me see if I can find it. Not gonna show all of it, of course, because of copyright, but let's see. Like, at the end of the episode, like, the parents get trapped in the closet, and they say, hey, do whatever it takes to bust this door open, and then Lynn grabs a pipe, and she's like, make way for honor! Ah! Like, I don't know, the line, the delivery, the voice, the writing, the delivery, the whole moment in general, it was just really charming to me. Alright. Lynn always got on my nerves. Yeah, most of the time, Lynn is a freaking bozo. I'm not gonna argue against that. Watch the showrunners replace Benny out of nowhere with some random dude just like they did with the other siblings. Yep. I mean, they already did it with Gavin, Lenny's ex-boyfriend, and apparently from what people have told me, they broke up off-screen. Like... Guy barely got a chance, and he's already gone, but sure. Sam and Luna? Blandest couple in the whole show by a long shot, but they gotta stay together at all costs. For whatever reason. Alright. Fandom Pains. The one where Lori and Lenny get into Lucy's vampire show because they cast a really attractive actor. Lucy starts getting annoyed by them watching the show all the time, but then it turns out she really misses their company, and ultimately she had a lot of fun with them. I don't know. It's definitely just it feels like a typical feel-good episode, but at the same time, I do remember it more or less. It's a very memorable episode, so I want to say a high alright or a low good. Fandom Pains is one of the last good Lucy episodes. Yeah, honestly, come to think of it, yeah. Like, pretty much all of the episodes where it's about Lucy or her Mortician's Club, like, they're honestly really forgettable. Like, her whole Mortician's Club is really meh in general. And I think this is the last time we just the plot just focus. This is the last time a Lucy episode focuses on just Lucy and not her Mortician's Club. Like, honestly, the idea of a whole Mortician's Club is definitely really uncomfortable. At least when it's being when it's comprised of a bunch of elementary school kids. Like, honestly, no. Even for a cartoon as silly as this one, that is just a very uncomfortable idea. The idea of children handling corpses, like, nah. Like, what are we doing, man? Rita, her right is F tier for me? Really? You think so? I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know. Rita's dynamic with the squirrel was really cute. Like, it has a good lesson about not shirking your responsibilities, especially as a parent. But at the same time, yeah, Rita definitely overdid it with the... freaking... with the crime spree, more or less. Like, it's one thing when you get a ticket on more than one occasion or whatever, and getting sentenced to community service, but... leaving dog crap in the street, like staying parked overnight at a convenience store, like all these infractions, like they just feel a little forced. Like I get that Rita wants a break, but she definitely overdid it. I don't know. I don't hate the episode by any means, but at the same time, it kind of painted Rita in they definitely wrote Rita a little too negatively for comfort, so you know, I'm gonna say a mid-meh. Maybe a low alright. I don't know. Rita gets rewarded for her getting her family for a week. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, she got jailed, and the moment the kids show up to visit her in prison, the guard is like, you're free to go. I get it. It's a little funny in retrospect, but at the same time, it does feel a little forced. So, yeah, maybe a low meh. But at the same time, I really like Rita's dynamic with the squirrel. I thought it was really cute. And the ending where Lynn Sr. leaves her with a letter in her bed, and he's like, I'll do the shopping, I'll take care of the kids, you just try to relax. Like, I don't know. Like, the whole husband and wife dynamic between Rita and Lynn here, it definitely shines. But at the same time, I can definitely understand a lot of the problems with it, so... either a high meh, or a low alright. Alright, Teachers Union. Yeah, no, there's a lot about this episode that I didn't like. Like, the coach being so strict. Like, basically, Lincoln and Clyde's PE teachers being a little too strict for comfort, so they try to set him up with one of the teachers on a date so that he starts being a little more kind. or at least a lot more kind in PE. But then when he fumbles a day and then the coach finds out that Lincoln and Clyde set him up, he straight up threatens to hurt them. Like, bro, you are a grown man about to assault a pair of 11-year-old boys. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? And for some reason, he still gets rewarded by the end. Like, after he tries to hurt Lincoln and Clyde, he gets hurt himself. And then he and the nurse more or less hit it off for whatever reason. Like, yeah, definitely not a good episode. So yeah, low meh, or maybe dog water. Maybe dog water. Only time will tell once we're done here. All right, head pose anxiety. Okay, that is definitely the peak of the franchise. Definitely peak. Definitely one of the best episodes of season 3. Like, it's heartfelt. It focuses on a dynamic between two specific Loud sisters, which we don't see very often. Like the dynamic between Luann and Lucy, it just synergizes way too well. The girl who writes poetry and the girl who writes puns, older sister teaching her younger sister how to be a better writer, has a lot of good teaching moments. Like, it's really heartfelt. Like, the ending is really sweet. Like, yeah, definitely one of the best of the season. In my best episodes ranking, I think it was number 7 out of the 11 episodes that I ranked. All right, we talked a bit about the mad scientist already. It's mostly fine. It has a good message about appreciating your family. But at the same time, the ending is a little flimsy, so yeah, I'm gonna place it in low all right. Rita and Lynn Sr. are either amazing parents or bad parents. Yeah. Yeah, I've said it time and again. Rita and Lynn Sr., they definitely flip-flop between the best parents in all of fiction and some of the worst. Like, it is woefully inconsistent. What, fool me? Honestly, that's a big complaint that I've heard about with most people, and I don't disagree with it. Like, when Luann's character development actually gets to shine through, it's some of the best. But then it's more or less completely undone in all the April Fool's episodes. All the more reason I hate them, man. Alright, missed connection. Okay, Oscar, you're being a little too bitter for my comfort, man. What you got against missed connection, man? Lori and Bobby realizing they're growing apart because, well, it's a long-distance relationship, so Bobby goes to visit Lori in Royal Woods. They start trying to make things work to reconnect. Then it turns, like, I don't know. I definitely feel some of the emotions, especially in the end, where Bobby gets locked in the bathroom and they have to wait for the firefighters to show up to break down the door, and the whole time, Lori stays on the phone with him, even though it's like, what, 2 hours, 3 hours? Like, I don't know. I like the ending, but at the same time, a lot of the execution of the ideas, it definitely feels a little forced. Like, Bobby wants to mail a pizza to Lori with her name on it, but then, for some reason, the siblings snatch it, knowing damn well it's not for them. Like, I don't know. And then, Lori sends, like, how did it go down again? Lori wanted to send her, like, make some sort of romantic gesture, but then Carl intercepts it for whatever reason. Like, yeah, a lot of it feels really forced, but at the same time, I thought the ending was really sweet. So, I'm gonna place it in low all right. Yeah, Oscar, I think that was kind of the point, more or less. Like, yeah, maybe they were being a little too paranoid about losing their sense of connection, their emotional sense of connection with each other. That's kind of the redundancy is kind of the point. All right, deal me out. I'd say, yeah, one of my favorite episodes in the whole series. Number 9 in my best episodes ranking, and I still stand by that, at least today. And again, when did I publish that video? That was like, what, 5 months ago? Yeah, I remember publishing it in like early April. Lincoln and Clyde, they're planning to go at an A-Savvy convention, but then they hear from a couple of friends, we're just here to take our little brothers, we're too old for that stuff, and then they start thinking, oh no, are we too old for that stuff? Like, just think about it. Like, yeah, I think, am I the only one who's ever been in a position where I'm like, oh gosh, am I getting too old for this thing I really like? Like, I pretty much went through the same emotional crisis, well, not emotional, mental crisis with Pokemon when I was a teenager. I genuinely thought to myself, am I too old for Pokemon? Am I too old to be watching cartoons? Like, yeah, I've definitely always been there. I try to take up new hobbies, it doesn't work out, but then I realize, hey, as long as I stay humble, as long as I keep my heart in the right place, I got nothing to be ashamed of. And you know what? That's basically the same mentality Lincoln and Clyde adopt here in this episode. It's definitely a very relatable episode. It has a lot of funny moments, like them trying to kill, them trying fishing and a giant fish just charging at them on the boat and then just whacking it with the paddled boat. Like, I don't know. It might seem a little too serious, but at the same time, it's played for laughs in the right way. So, I would say either peak or low good. You know what? Nah, peak is fine. Peak is fine. Low peak is fine. But alright. Frenzy. Which one was this one again? Okay, I definitely do remember it. I just don't know how to word it. Lincoln starts inviting Clyde more often to the house just to get a couple more privileges. At least around the house. Access to the TV. Clyde gets to decide what's for dinner. Stuff like that. So his sisters start doing the same thing. They start inviting even more friends to outnumber them so that they get priority. And then it gets so out of control to the point where the cops get involved. Nothing too problematic from what I remember. And it has a couple of funny moments. But at the same time, it's nothing too crazy. So nothing where I'm like, wow, this is one of the best episodes I've ever seen. So I'm going to place it in mid alright. Maybe low alright. I don't know. Hey, I see. Sorry, I'm late. John, don't feel bad about it. I'm not meant to be streaming today. The only reason I'm streaming today is because I conveniently had the day off. But what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm more or less really... I just think Frenzy's just not really anything extraordinary. So yeah, I'm just going to place it in alright. Am I too old to watch PNG tubers? Do I count as a PNG tuber? Come to think of it, I guess I kind of do. Nah. Like I said, just stay humble and keep your heart in the right place, and more often than not, you'll be fine. Honestly, Liam is the only one of Lincoln's friends that I like. Yeah, Rusty and Zach are definitely really forgettable. Stella, I'd say, is underutilized. Criminally underutilized. And Kara, I already had problems with her welcoming as is, and they really haven't done much with her anyways. But alright. Past your bedtime. I'd say this is the episode that definitely... I don't know what to make of it. Hold on. Before I place it, let me think about it for a moment. Lincoln and friends having a sleepover at Liam's, but then it turns out the same day, Girl Jordan is having like this big pool party. And, well, at first, Lincoln and friends are committed to sticking with Liam at his sleepover like they already planned, just out of respect for Liam. But then they start seeing pictures and videos that get published of the party, and they feel like they're getting a serious case of FOMO, so they're like, okay, you know what? Let's just make sure Liam falls asleep, and then we'll go to the party. But then things go wrong at the party, Liam finds out, they gotta apologize. Like, I don't know, it's definitely a little predictable, but at the same time, it has a lot of funny moments, and Liam definitely stands out as a character for me, in this episode in particular, so... I'm gonna place it in high alright. Not sure what else I can think of it. The Mystery Dungeon Portrait as a PNG commentator. Yeah, honestly, initially I wanted it to be Piplup, but there was no HD renders of Piplup. Like, this Mudkip render you guys see right here? This is just... Oops, not that. This render you guys see right here, it's from Rescue Team DX. If there was one for Piplup, he would probably be the mascot of the channel, but honestly, I don't regret anything with Mudkip. It makes for better memes. Like, honestly, it just occurred to me on the spot, like, 3 years ago when I made my Gravity Falls retrospective back in the day. Can't believe it's been 3 years since then. Like, time flies, man. Time really flies. But alright. Shop girl. Lenny gets pushed around too much while she's going shopping, so... Her siblings try to teach her to stand up for herself. But then it turns out that being nice really does pay, so... Like, I don't know. It definitely... Like, there's a certain balance between getting pushed around and just being nice to people, and the plot's resolution is basically just the other extreme, and honestly, I'm not comfortable with that, so... Like, I don't know. Most of the episode is fine, it has a couple funny moments, but the resolution is definitely... It's a little too extreme, like I said, so I'm gonna place it in low alright or high meh. Boots, I cannot think of a single soul who doesn't think Mudkip is adorable. That's all I can tell you guys. I just realized the mudkip on my desk is getting really... I have a plushie I bought at Worlds of a sitting mudkip, and it's getting a little dusty. Hold on. Oh gosh, it's getting really dusty. You know what? That's what I get for not dusting my furniture after I get home from work. Down and out. You know what? I definitely and unintentionally overlooked this episode. This is definitely one of Lola's best episodes. Not my favorite. That title goes to Read Aloud. But it's definitely a very memorable Lola episode, and it has a lot of character development for her. Like, she's in a position where she's not at the top of her profession, where she's definitely being challenged, more or less. And we understand her conflict. Lori helps her out of it. She grows as a character. Like, yeah, I'd say peak. I really wish I could have said more about it in my best episodes rankings, but I definitely overlooked it more in a minor capacity. Okay, in a major capacity, and I definitely do regret it, not talking about it more. Then we get 3 garbage episodes in a row? What, chronologically? Okay, Ruthless People and What Would Lincoln Do? They're definitely very forgettable, but I thought Breaking Dad was actually really sweet. Like, it definitely does paint, it does make Lynn Sr. look like a bad father, and y'all already know how much of a problem I have with that. But at the same time, he does suffer some consequences as a result. Like, basically, all the kids and mom are gone, so Lynn Sr. has to take care of Lily, but he was supposed to drop her off at daycare, but then it turns out the daycare is out of service that day, so... And at the same time, Lynn Sr. is attending a music festival that day, so he leaves her with Mr. Grouse for a day, and then Lily starts calling Mr. Grouse Dada, and it breaks Lynn's heart. He tries to win her over, but then it turns out the only reason she was calling him Dada in the first place was because Mr. Grouse was wearing his sweater. Like, I don't know. It just has a lot of really cute moments, and honestly, Lily is just peak adorable in this episode, so I want to say either a low good or a high alright. A lot of people, after finding out what Pokemon that was replaced by Mudkip in Gen 3 would say otherwise. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean, Boo? I see Landlord Lynn might show again if it gets loud again, and do you live in a complex? No. It's just a 2-story building. Just a simple 2-story building. So yeah, I definitely gotta be a little more discreet. Breaking Dad is F tier. It's just annoying for his excessive use of the cowbell. Yeah, the cowbell is definitely really annoying for the most part. I'm saddened that the only thing Lily remembers of her father is his jacket. I mean, bro, she's like 1 year old, man. How many babies do you know remember every detail about their dad? Like, I really am not gonna hold it against her for being so naive. I'm really not gonna hold it against a 1-year-old who still wears diapers for being so naive. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, I thought it was fine. Which says a lot for a Kevin Sullivan episode, now that I think about it. Alright. Ruthless People. Definitely a very forgettable and very... Like, the whole family just comes off as selfish. Like they'll just sacrifice anything just to avoid spending the day at Aunt Ruth's. Like, basically, the house has to be fumigated for termites, so half the family has to stay at Pop Pop's retirement home, and the other half has to stay with Aunt Ruth. So Lincoln and half of the siblings bargain their way into not having to stay with Aunt Ruth, but then it turns out Aunt Ruth's place is really nice, while Pop Pop's place is actually a struggle, so they try to bargain their way to switch places again. Then that backfires too. Like, I don't know. It feels like one of those episodes where it's really not going anywhere, so... And honestly, none of it was really funny, so... Except for the beginning, where Lynn actually broke through the wall and left the silhouette. Like, I thought that was really funny. It's just basic slapstick at the end of the day. So, I'm gonna give it a low meh. Maybe a dog water, I don't know. That is true. Also, Lana actually sparing the termites just because she's too much of an animal lover. Like, I don't know. I get it. She's gross, but at the same time, haven't her parents taught her that some... Let me put it this way. Haven't they taught her that not all life is sacred? Like, some bugs are just straight up pests? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. The bad parenting, like, it's just a very Like, it's in character for Lana, but at the same time, it's still very unappealing. So, yeah, low meh. Maybe a dog water. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really even end, now that I think about it. It never really had an ending. They're just, oh, we're stuck at Aunt Ruth's, and it sucks. That's it. That's where the episode ends. They didn't even bother finishing it. Like, the writing feels so lazy that they don't even have a proper ending. But alright. What would Lincoln do? I'm sorry, what would Lincoln do? Would. I guess I pronounce the same now that I think about it, so why am I putting so much emphasis? Alright. How did this go down again exactly? Lincoln has a carpentry project, he consults his mom to help. Then it turns out, then his mom does all the work. And then his teacher is so impressed with work that he took credit for that she wants him to help him with other carpentry projects. But then he keeps lying and lying and lying about it until he gets caught. Like, I don't know. It's a really dull liar reveal cliche storyline. So it's either a low meh or a dog water. I'm gonna say dog water. Like, yeah, it's just way too predictable. Like, don't get me wrong. A couple times, even in this franchise, like a liar reveal cliche story can actually be decent. Like in Season 8, Incognito. It's ultimately just a liar reveal cliche plot, but it actually does enough to where it actually feels unique and actually really heartfelt. Like Lisa, like I've said time and again, Lisa's bond with Darcy, it's probably one of the best in the franchise, to say the least. Remember that Lincoln made a bird tree house in Season 1? I really don't remember, Oscar. I think the beta water type starter was called Wallabit? Okay, I need to look this up. Hold up. Oh look, it actually answers the question. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. If this is what Mudkip looked like today, guys, if this is what we went with for Mudkip, yeah, this would be a completely different channel in terms of its branding. Good God. Oh God, no. Yeah, I don't like it. Nah. You know, he does give a little bit of Score Bunny vibes. Maybe they switched it to a fire type at the end of the day. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely not a fan. Yeah, no, I'm really glad we went with the Mudkip with the whole axolotl, shtick. Is that what Mudkip is? An axolotl? Like some sort of, you know what is Mudkip? What animal is Mudkip based on? No, I am not interested in AI mode. Based on a combination of real-world animals, primarily the mudskipper and the axolotl, a type of salamander. Okay, I don't know a lot about the mudskipper, but definitely gives more axolotl vibes. Okay, hold on, I gotta see these images. Where is this shot from? It's actually a really cute shot of him. Please don't tell me it's AI generated. Aw, but look at it. Look at the little smile. Like, if it weren't for the smile, it definitely... Like, Mudkip just really gains a lot of points, cuteness points, just from the smile alone. Like, that's how you know you got a good design. Yeah, Wallabit. Like, what? Like, wall and rabbit? Like, what's the word? What's the portmanteau there? Anyways. Alright. Scales of Justice. Lana is friends with a family of fish in a lake at the park. And apparently, the lake and the park as a whole is going to be destroyed for like a mustard factory, so Lana disguises herself as a lake monster to scare off all the investors and whatnot. Something along those lines. Like, I don't know. It's a more or less atypical protect the environment type of storyline. And honestly, that feels a little cliche, at least in Hollywood. Scales of Justice is good. It just kind of feels like a proto season 6 episode, but being nice to eat the Lana episode. Okay, Oscar, you're gonna have to rephrase a lot of that. I can hardly understand what you're saying, my dude. Lots of people say they'd rather like that water rabbit than Mudkip. Well, those people, I don't know what those people are smoking, but I do not want it. Yeah, no. Like, I don't know. It's a little preachy with its ideas, but at the same time, the episode is really funny, so from what I remember. Like, just Lenny freaking out about the mud monster. Like, it has a couple of jokes. Like, I don't know. It's a little preachy here and there, but at the same time, it's not excessive, so I'm gonna put it in mid alright. Alright. Crimes of Fashion. Another decent Ace Savvy episode, in my opinion. Like, Lenny gets blamed for hoarding a bunch of scarves at the boutique she works in. She gets fired. Lincoln and Clyde, they adopt the Ace Savvy role-playing, and they try to investigate if it was really her. Because they really doubt it, because we really know how sweet Lenny is. It's nice to see Lincoln stand up for just to take initiative, just out of love for his sisters. Like, honestly, the twist is really cute. Like, turns out the manager's son was the one taking them, because he also really likes superheroes. Like, I don't know. It's overall a really sweet episode, for the most part, and I don't know. I don't have any problems with it, more or less, so I'd say somewhere in all right, to say the least. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was a little contrived. That turns out harming those fishes or dehoming them, for lack of a better term, turns out those fishes are a protected species. It's illegal to try to destroy their home. Like, honestly, yeah, that is a little Deus Ex Machina. So, okay, we're gonna place it in low, all right, now that I think about it. All right, Absent-Minded. Welcome back, Rockin' D. I did not even know you were on vacation, my guy. All right, Absent-Minded. Clyde gets a perfect attendance award. He gets coddled by the principal as a result, but then it turns out he actually missed a day and nobody noticed, and he's too afraid to own up to it until he is. But then it turns out he never missed a day. Turns out the day he was referring to, that he saw in like a journal or in his diary or whatever, turns out that day was a Saturday. Or no, not a Saturday. Apparently everyone missed school that day for some miscellaneous reason that I can't remember. Like, I don't know. Nothing too crazy. And it's a little unsettling that Lincoln is basically the driving force for keeping it to himself. Yes, I'm still watching. YouTube, man. Absent-Minded. I loathe this one. More boring episodes in the series. I thought it was fine. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna give it like a... Okay, I am placing one too many episodes in middle right. I need to change that. Alright, Be Still in My Heart. It has decent messaging. It has an interest... Like, I don't know. Like, y'all already know how I feel about white hair. Peak of Lincoln's character development, a resolution for the future by introducing Stella. Like, it's, like, you know what? Just... You know what? I've made it clear enough why I have problems with Be Still in My Heart. It's not a bad episode on its own, but at the same time, everything it represents, it just really bothers me. Like, one moment, we know Lincoln likes this girl. Like, the process of meeting her, he goes through probably the peak of his character development in the process of meeting her. Like, honestly, one of the best episodes in the whole series. And what do they do in its continuation? Oh, let's trivialize his feelings by having all the boys crush on her. They start fighting over her. For some, Lincoln freezes up. The next time he sees her, like, there is just so much wrong with just the premise. And then you think about the fact that Stella was only introduced because, nah, this wasn't a Gwen Stacy to Mary Jane type scenario. They only introduced her because, hey, Lincoln needs a girl of color in his friend group. Like, that's it. So, I have half a mind to put this in dog water, but that would be a little too rude. Like, the messaging is nice on its own, but in terms of the overarching narratives of the series, for whatever they're worth, it's really bad. So, I'm gonna place it in low meh, to say the least. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. Like, its writing is a 0 out of 10, but it's just so funny to me. You think so? Nah. I really don't remember anything about the episode. It never came off as funny to me. Like, it basically feels like a scapegoat for the dynamic between Lincoln and Stella. Anyway, Sitting Bull. Okay, instantly dog water. Y'all already know how I feel about this episode. Looks like I haven't gotten to Racing Hearts yet. Nah, it's not gonna be for a while. And I know it's really late into the season. Alright. The Spies Who Loved Me. Again. These guys have no faith in the Casa Grandes to stand on its own 2 feet. It keeps hinging on the Loud House's popularity, so they give Ronnie Ann another production slot. Like, I don't know. As for the episode itself, it's fine. Like, Ronnie Ann just wants to tour around the whole city after she moved in. But then her parents are like, no, the city is so dangerous. You don't want to go do that. Then they keep spying on her. Then the spying backfires. She's the one rescuing them. They compromise. Like, I don't know. It's a little too predictable. And then there's also all the stuff behind the scenes that I'm not a fan of. So, this is a low all right. Okay, really loud music. Peak of the peak. Luna's best episode. Probably their best half-hour special. Okay, I would definitely say so. Visually, it has a lot of good animation. It has a lot of the music is really catchy. It has a great message. The peak of Luna's character development. And keep in mind, Sam had nothing to do with it. So yeah, definitely one of the best episodes. Okay, as far as the peak is concerned, I want to place these in a particular order. Do I like A Bridge Too Far more than Head Poet's Anxiety? Nah. A Bridge Too Far, credit where credit is due, but Head Poet's Anxiety is definitely a lot more heartfelt, and you know what? That's all I can say. From peak to trash? Oh my god, no, instant dog water. Instant dog water. House of Lies is, ugh. Ugh, the messaging is awful, the premise is awful. Everyone in this episode is awful. Except for Lisa until the end. Like, geez. Hello, Aura. Hello, Aura. Welcome to the stream. Alright. Down and out. Would I place it above Deal Me Out? Like, that would be betraying my best episodes video because I didn't even mention Gown and Out in my best episodes video for the most part. But at the same time, Lola is my favorite Loud sister, so I guess 5 months after publishing my best episodes video, like, I've already changed my mind in a few aspects. You know what? Nah. I actually really liked it. Deal Me Out just resonates with me personally in a lot of ways, so. But at the same time, I want to try to look at this objectively. I'm so conflicted, guys. I'm really conflicted. Saved by the Spell should be trash, but the boot scooting raises it up. What, Myrtle? Not Myrtle. Cheryl doing the I'm a bootin', I'm a scootin'. That's a very memorable moment, but that's season 5. We're in season 3. How do I feel about Perfect Gig? Probably the only Sam X Luna episode I kind of like. For the most part, it's fine. But at the same time, if it weren't for Simon, you could straight up switch Sam for Lana and nothing would change. Like, yeah, Sam's relevance in the episode or importance, it's not even owed to the character herself. It's owed to the fact that her brother is tagging along conveniently. Like, once again, Sam is dead weight in an episode where she's more or less relevant. Let the Lola Loud bias take over. Very tempting. I'm very tempted, Erica. I am very tempted. Guys, I'm very conflicted. Down and Out over Deal Me Out? I think most people would say yes. Like, Deal Me Out, ultimately, the reason it's number 9 on my listing, it's just because of personal bias. Yeah, that was my problem with the Loud House at first, when I first saw it. That was my problems with Lisa Loud initially at first. Like, when I first saw the couple episodes of the Loud House back in 2016, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, is Lisa just gonna be like a Sheldon Cooper 2.0? Using big words, talking like a nerd, very condescending, just reeking of hubris. But then I saw episodes like Friend or Foe, and I realized, okay, you know what? They're going in a different direction with Lisa, and I can respect that. Alright, let's see. Game Boys. Watch the show end in a cursed way with Lincoln being gay, and the show pairs him up with Chandler. That is so fucking cursed. Holy shit, I didn't even gotta finish that sentence, but I will. Especially since they are showing no romantic character development with him in forever. Yeah. Last time they ever tried was with Stella. Ronnie Ann essentially friend-zoned him. They pretty much chickened out with Stella, even though her introduction is the peak of his character development, as I've said time and again. But fuck that, I guess. Alright, Game Boys. Clyde has basically the equivalent of a Nintendo Switch. Lincoln wants to borrow it. Clyde reluctantly lets him borrow it, even though he doesn't trust the Loud household to keep it in one piece. So he sneaks into Lincoln's house, tries to protect it when he's not looking. Like, I don't know. It has a lot of fun. It has a lot of fun. From what I remember, it has a handful of decent slapstick, but at the same time, and honestly, it was a really nice gesture for Lincoln to jump in front of the spaghetti sauce to protect the console. Like, I don't know, just another classic case of Lincoln's dynamic with Clyde, which I always enjoy. So I'm gonna place it in high all right. Nothing too crazy. Used to love this one. It's nice. It's just absent-minded, but good. Yeah, I guess that's one way to word it. All right. Everybody loves Lenny. Simon Sharp, hard carry. Deadass. Hello, Mockery. Welcome to the stream. All right. Everybody loves Lenny. Lenny has 2 friends who are co-workers and her 2 high school friends. She wants them to get along, but turns out they can't. They're at each other's throats all the time, so Lenny decides to just ditch both of them because she can't, I don't know. She just doesn't want, she wants to stop choosing between her 2 friend groups, so then their friends compromise for her sake. Like, I don't know. Like, the conflict definitely feels a little forced. Like their jealousy, the jealousy between Lenny's coworkers and Lenny's school friends, it just feels a little too forced. But at the same time, I can appreciate the resolution for what it is, more or less. I think I'm gonna place this in middle right. All right. Always liked Luna only because her VA was Adam Lyon. Really? Wait, are we thinking of the same Adam Lyon? Like, my gym partner's a monkey? Yeah, okay. Wow, really? What was her... Okay, who was her voice actress again? Okay, somebody corrected me in my comments a while back about who Luna's VA was. I forgot her name. Nika Futterman. Really? Hold on. She voices... I did not know Adam Lyon was also voiced by a woman. I mean, it's a very common practice when it comes to young boys in cartoons, but really? You're messing with me, Aura. You're messing with me. Hold on, let's see. Oh, she was in Psychonauts. Let's see. Big City Greens. Okay, I know she's Hella in Marvel Rivals. Still voicing Luna. Additional voices in FF7 Rebirth. Who the heck is our Narca Kufane? You know what? I don't know. I've seen a bit of Miraculous Ladybug, but it's a show that definitely has the same problem as The Loud House. Just seasonal rot. Although, to be honest, I always thought Miraculous Ladybug was mid from the beginning. There is no way. Also voicing Luna. You know what? Why am I scrolling through this? I just realized this woman's repertoire is really big. Wow, she was Adam Lyon. No, wow. The more you know. The more you know. Okay, you know what? That is some really fun trivia, to say the least. Miguel in The Loud House was always annoying to me. Yeah, he is the definition of a gay stereotype. Like that, he is one of many prime examples of representation done wrong. Like, he is just a blithering stereotype. Works at a boutique, expert on makeup. He gets offended when you criticize his fashion. Like, ugh. He's just, the fruity tone, like, he's just filling out he's just filling out the whole checklist for gay stereotype, man. It's ridiculous. Never got into Miraculous. I watched a little bit, I watched like the first 2 seasons when I was in college, and honestly, it was never really anything crazy. All right, middlemen. Lincoln and Clyde are going to a middle school orientation. Lynn decides to tag along and be their student buddy because, as it turns out, she got picked on a lot in middle school, so she doesn't want the same thing happening to them. But due to her overprotective instincts, she just makes things worse for them. Like, it's a compelling idea on paper, but the ending, it just feels a little too convenient. Like, Lincoln and Clyde, they piss off so many middle schoolers, and they threaten to start a fight after school, like after school, for pissing them off. But then they were like, nah, we were just messing with you. We weren't gonna pick on you. Like, I don't know. It just feels a little too convenient. So, I'm gonna place this at a high meh. Like, it's nothing too crazy. Like, you can tell they tried to actually redeem Lynn after all the stupid stuff she's done throughout the seasons at this point, but it still fumbles the bag in my opinion. This episode, After School, does announce it. Wasn't schooled from season 5. This is season 3. What do you mean? But alright. I like the show until they change their faces and characteristics. Yeah, that's when I'm done with that shake ass. What do you mean, John? Yeah, I did not know that. Like, I did not know I did not know Nika Futterman had such a repertoire in terms of her voice acting career. Like, I knew she voices Hela in Marvel Rivals, but that was about it. Grey Delisle, on the other hand, she voices Lola, she voices Lana, she voices Lily, she's voiced a lot of characters throughout my childhood. Like, that doesn't surprise me. I just realized there's no tie-in game with a Loud House, Ladybug, SpongeBob, some live-action shows games, but never this show. That is true, but to be fair, around the time the show first started, that trend was more or less dying, of just complementing a TV show with a game and whatnot. Then again, SpongeBob is still getting platformers. SpongeBob is still getting sequels to Battle for Bikini Bottom, so I don't know. I guess they're just focusing on the money makers more or less. She voiced Catwoman in Brave and the Bold, huh? That is really good casting the more I think about it. Wait, did she sing the whole... Okay, I never got to watch a lot of the Brave and the Bold, but I do remember this one song. Did she actually do the vocals for the Birds of Prey song in... Did she actually do the vocals in this one scene? I'm not gonna play it because copyright, but... You know what? Okay, you know what? I can see why she got cast as Luna. That makes sense. That makes sense. I have to wonder who voices Hunters in Black Canary, though. You know what? I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Shoutouts to Battle for Bikini Bottom for being good license games. Yeah, honestly, especially when it comes to Nickelodeon, good license games, they're practically... It's like catching lightning in a jar. Even Avatar The Last Airbender couldn't pull off a good license game, even to this day. They've tried like 3 different times, and they still can't do it. Anyways, Gears for Fears. Surprisingly, a Kevin Sullivan episode that I don't hate. Lincoln and Clyde, they want to go to a haunted house just to leave a lasting impression with a bunch of jerks at their school. Just to save face with a bunch of jerks at their local school. I think it's just Chandler and some of his friends. But then it turns out they're too easily scared. They try to train themselves, they still don't pull it off, but then it turns out Bobby used to work at the haunted house and he shows them everything in order to mentally prepare them. But then it turns out the haunted house gets an overhaul at the last minute, so they gotta tank it all. But then it turns out Chandler and his friends can't take it either. So they come to a mutual understanding, they come to a truce. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time, it has a lot of fun visuals. Like, them getting scared at Lily just wearing a little wolf onesie. Like, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, Lincoln and Clyde have never been the most courageous of characters. And you know what? It definitely shows. It shows a side that I definitely believe out of the two of them. So, I'm gonna say a mid to high alright, to say the least. Alright. T-Tail Heart, surprisingly, I don't know, when did this episode release? Because it definitely feels like a Halloween special. It definitely feels like in spirit, it feels like a Halloween special. When did this episode drop? October 12th, 2018. Yeah, it's more or less a Halloween special. And honestly, maybe it's because I studied a bit of Edgar Allan Poe in high school, but I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for the Telltale Heart. It's just really good suspense. And you know what? Even for a kid's show, it actually preserves the spirit well enough. Just the basic premise of covering up a murder, but this time in the form of Lola hiding a doll that she stole from Lucy and accidentally damaged. And then every time she tries to get rid of the doll, it just spawns right in front of her. But then it turns out it was just Lana picking up after her. Like, I don't know, it's a little contrived, but in the best of ways. So yeah, I'm gonna give this like a high alright. Maybe a low good. I don't know, I actually really enjoyed it. Lincoln is a bit of a chump, yeah. Apparently, Nika also did the backing to Give It To Me Baby part on The Offspring's Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Yeah, Rockin' D, I have no idea what that is. Could the K-pop demon hunters defeat Dio? I mean, they kill demons, not vampires. Dio is a vampire. Metaphorically, I guess he is a demon. Yeah, he's a giant asshole. Like, he is peak fictional asshole. Dio Brando is peak asshole. Like, it's crazy. Like, he is peak hater, peak... I don't know how to word it. Like, he is the epitome of a petty jerk. Like, Dio Brando is just... Good God, man. I have never been more satisfied at a character dying than when Jotaro killed him. Nope, spoiler alerts. But then again, Stardust Crusaders is like, what, 10 years old at this point? I don't know. But alright, I'm gonna drink a bit of water, guys. Hold on. Ugh. But alright. I definitely did enjoy T-Tail Heart. Like, it's a nice homage to a classic story from like the 19th century. You know what? When did it drop? Allan Poe, Telltale Heart. When was this published? 1843. Okay, I was right with 19th century, but it's still a little older than what I expected. What other anime do I watch? Not a lot. Like I've said in the past, guys, my anime repertoire, it's a little basic. Like a couple seasons of JoJo, a couple seasons of Attack on Titan. And that's really all I can think of off the top of my head. I have not seen any of My Hero. I have not seen any of Frieren, even though I kind of want to. Maybe I'll give the first season a try at some point. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really watch anime, a lot of anime to the point where I can consider myself like a weeb or an otaku. I don't even know what the proper term is in this context. What does that tell you? The Offspring were a popular punk rock band that had huge success in the 90s. Nika did the backing vocal for one of their... Hold on. Okay, I feel like I've heard it before, just out of curiosity. Is it what I think it is? Is it the whole... Give it to me, baby? That was Luna? No way, man. I mean, I've heard the song before, but I didn't know who this band was by name. Wow. If that's what you're telling me, Rockin' D, okay, that's kind of crazy. Wow. This is why Lynn always calls him a chum and a loser and stinking. Yeah. Yeah, it totally checks out. Not that she's done anything to help him in that regard. All she's done is diss him. All the more reason to dislike Lynn, to be honest. Like, no way, Rockin' D. That really was her. Holy crap. Like, I've definitely heard that vocal before. I didn't know the song by name or anything along those lines, but wow. That's crazy. Crazy to think that Luna Loud is the one that was like, give it to me, baby. You will like Mononoke for what, Princess Mononoke? Like, honestly, guys, I have heard nothing but praise for Studio Ghibli films, and ironically, I've never gotten the chance to watch any of them. Is it free on YouTube? Hold on. Okay, I'm guessing you're referring to a different Mononoke. By the way, the voice actress for Azula is also Black Canary. Really? Grey Delisle voiced Black Canary? In The Brave and the Bold or in the Justice League series? Either way, you know what? I'm not surprised. Grey Delisle, she's got range. Alright. Loudest Thanksgiving. Okay, so Lori and Bobby are conflicted about whether they should both spend Thanksgiving at the Louds or Thanksgiving with the Casagrandes. Then it comes down to a coin flip and the Casagrandes spend it at the Louds. And then they start competing with each other over Lori and Bobby's attention and winning favor with them just for the sake of the future. Like, I don't know. The conflict definitely feels a little forced, and it's definitely another one of those instances where the Casagrandes are just riding off of the Louds' coattails rather than just standing on their own. Like, I don't know. Like, the conflict, the unity, like, I don't know. Like, be real, guys. Hypothetically, like, say you're in your teenage years, you've been with someone for a while now. Like, would you really be that tight? Like, would your family really be that tight with your boyfriend's family or your girlfriend's family? Like, me personally, that was definitely not the case for me in high school. Like, no. Like, my family would not be that tight with my partner's family. I'll say that much. Like, like, the premise alone just feels really forced. Like, honestly, the whole bond between the Louds and the Casagrandes, it just feels really forced. And it just tells me, oh, please go watch our failing spinoff. Like I've said time and again. I'm a little tired of repeating myself there. And honestly, the episode is really forgettable. So, I'm gonna say a low meh or a high dog water, which is a damn shame because... And also, the episode is kind of gross here and there. Like, Lily and Carlitos just bathing in the nacho cheese at the end. Lynn with the whole... With the pants that'll... The pants that she literally pees on. Like, I don't know. A lot of the episodes, a lot of the moments were just really gross me out. Like, I don't know. They were not like that with my girlfriend's family. They were not like, yeah, thank you. Okay, it's not just me. But yeah, personally, yeah. My family would not be that tight with my girlfriend's family. Like, they'll speak to each other on occasion. Like, I believe the bond between Lincoln and Ronnie Ann, and especially the one with Lori and Bobby. But as far as the rest of the Louds and the rest of the Casagrandes are concerned, it feels really forced. So yeah. Either high dog water or a low meh. We'll keep it at a low meh for now. Most Hispanic people I know don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Yeah, me, for the most part, nowadays, me neither. Most of my family are American citizens, and I do celebrate it, and I'm not going to complain about the food. But as of late, I've been too busy with my job. Like, last year, I completely skipped Thanksgiving because I had to work that day. And for all I know, the same thing is going to be this year. Like, maybe if Lori was pregnant. I mean, to be fair, even though she's legally an adult, she has her own place, she has her own job, and so does Bobby. Her being pregnant it'd be a bold choice, but it definitely would be questionable, to say the least. Like, nowadays, it might make for an interesting storyline, and it would be a compelling reason for the Louds and the Casagrandes to interact, but let's be real, the writers are never gonna have those kinds of balls. Yes, we do, though not with a turkey. We just make something big and meaty. Yeah, it's not necessarily a turkey. I mean, I'm not complaining, but at the same time, like, turkey is just a lot of maintenance for a traditional meal that you're expected to be consuming on Thanksgiving. Turkey is a lot of maintenance, man. You have to bake it for a fixed amount of time. You have to keep it covered so it doesn't dry up. Like, it's really easy to just compromise the integrity. But alright. I can't see them pulling a Doña Florinda and Profesor Girafales. Bro, you just bro, El Chavo del Ocho? That's definitely a throwback for me. But alright. Predictability, definitely one of my favorite episodes in the series. I don't care what it fight me. Like, I don't know. Just the idea of it more or less addresses a lot of common tropes in animation. Just the formulaic repetitiveness of a TV series, of a cartoon like this one. The fact that characters wear the same clothes every day. Like, I don't know. It definitely feels a little meta. But on top of that, I can understand Lincoln's turmoil. Like, the fact that his daily routine feels so repetitive to the point where people might just get people might just think he's annoying or exhausting or uninteresting as a result. Like, I definitely understand his gripes, but then he eventually realizes that being obsessed with being different can actually be detrimental to the point where he doesn't feel ashamed of being normal. So, you know what? Yeah. Okay, no, not on good. Give it I'd say low peak. I can understand why it's not why people don't think it's I'm definitely ranking it a little higher than most people would. But at the same time, good messaging, good character development, good visuals. Like, I don't know. It definitely has a lot going for it. Would I rather prefer AI taking over jobs or using AI for fun to make some voices like characters and stuff? Okay, if the voice is based on like an actual person, especially one who's deceased, make sure you have permission from the estate and whatnot. Otherwise, that is straight up plagiarism. Straight up plagiarism, and in some cases an insult to the memory. Like the Darth Vader AI in Fortnite. It got complete permission from James Earl Jones' estate. That's the only reason I'm cool with it. And it's honestly a lot of fun, from what I've seen. Other than that, though, I don't know how I feel about it. This show would be leagues better if it has actual consistent continuity and didn't have freaking frequent out-of-character moments. Yeah. Case in point, all of the April Fool's episodes with Luann. Just to name one example. Predictability, I don't care for this one, but I see why you like it. If I like an episode like Jerry Antics, you can like this episode. Yeah, honestly, I thought Jerry Antics was really sweet. Like, just the premise of Lisa fearing, like, she's so confident in her genius that she knows she's going to win a Nobel Prize, and she wants Pop-Pop to live long enough to attend the ceremony at the minimum, and her taking all these extreme measures to make sure he lives long enough to see the day, but then realizing through him and his struggles that life isn't worth living if you're not actually living it. Like, Pop-Pop is so compromised that he can't hug Lisa, he can't dance with his wife, or his fiance at the time. No, girlfriend. Myrtle, he wasn't even engaged to Myrtle at the time in season 4. Like, I don't know, it definitely has a lot of heartfelt messaging, especially about, particularly about, getting old and whatnot. Yeah, the moment they fixate too much on continuity, you can just tell this show is coming to an end, and we know how greedy Nickelodeon is. They can't have that. They gotta run this show for, like, what? Another 9 seasons? Jesus Christ. I'm already dreading the prospect. Alright. Driving Ambition. Is this the one where Lori gets nervous because a college recruiter is going to be watching her at a golf tournament? I think this is the one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Honestly, I thought it was fine. It's a little unrealistic that Lori envisions her future with Bobby with 11 kids of her own. But other than that, I thought this episode was fine. Lori feeling nervous because if she screws up at this tournament, she feels like she's going to screw up her whole future. She doesn't get into the college of her dreams. She doesn't marry Bobby. But then again, I think Bobby would love her all the same. But you know what? She's too caught up in her insecurities to realize that. And you know what? It's a bit of a stretch, but I can understand where she's coming from, more or less. So, and then it turns out by the end, she struggles at first in the tournament, but then she makes a really good comeback. The recruiter is impressed. She gets a scholarship or something like that. So, I don't know. It's realistic enough. I'm gonna give it like a mid alright, maybe low. I don't know. Talking about Luann, how many April Fool's Days are there in 1 year? Yeah, canonically in this show, there's only been 2 years at the maximum, and somehow there's been, what, 4 April Fool's episodes? Like, I guess you could just pass it off as 2 of them being a dream, but they've never really toyed with that idea whatsoever, so I have no reason. Like, it's a good headcanon, but that's just it. Just headcanon, not actual canon. Like, it's the best, I think it's the best way to interpret it, but at the same time, it would just feel, there's really nothing supporting it other than just my imagination. Alright. Home of the Fave. Lynn Sr. He's going to the grocery store with Luann. Lola tags along because she needs something. Lynn starts bonding with Luann a lot. But then he starts feeling guilty that Lola felt a little left out. And then he starts realizing that maybe he doesn't distribute his affection equally among all of his kids. Like, I don't know, when you have I mean, I definitely can't relate. I don't know a lot of people that can relate with the idea of having 11 kids. So, seeing him struggling with micromanaging his affection for all his kids, it makes for good slapstick. It makes for decent, typical cartoon shenanigans. And honestly, the fact that the idea of the kids reassuring him that they all feel reassured about his sense of affection towards them. Like, honestly, it's just a really sweet episode for the most part. So, I'm gonna give it like a high alright. I guess extreme baby fever runs into Loud House genes? Yeah, I guess. And please, guys, do not interpret it in any other extreme. Just because a family has a lot of kids, it doesn't mean they're sex addicts in any capacity. Like, it's not impossible to trust that that a husband and a wife really love children and they love the idea of having more. Like, the amount of people who just say, wow, Lynn Sr. or Rita, they're a pair of horn dogs. Like, honestly, just that kind of mentality is the reason this show has so much pornography. That's all I can tell you, man. Like, I really hate that kind of thinking. Like, can we please just gloss over it or overlook it more or less? AI would only be good if you remove its ability to generate pictures and videos. Yeah. The more I think about it. This season just has mundane episodes with a sweet touch, and that it's gone in season 5. Yeah. It definitely, like, later seasons, they lack even that. Alright. Hero today, gone tomorrow. That's the one with Lynn and Margot, where Lynn is apparently the MVP most of the time in their soccer team, but then Margot scores a winning goal, and apparently everyone just wants her attention now instead of Lynn's. Lynn gets a little jealous, Lynn sabotages Lynn hogs the spotlight in the next game, but then Margot realizes that her best friend is a little too jealous for her own good. Like, Lynn, it seems like Lynn can't stomach the fact that not even her best friend can take the spotlight for 1 second without her getting jealous. And then by the end of the episode, the spotlight is on someone else, and they're like, you know what? Doesn't matter who the spotlight is on, as long as we're supporting each other throughout the process. Like, honestly, it's a unique and relatively interesting dynamic, but it definitely feels it doesn't feel as thorough as I would like it to be, to say the least. Like, I don't know. Other than, it feels a little too basic. So, I'm gonna give it I'll give it a low alright. Maybe a high meh. I don't know. Get it, Bobby, get it. I assume the other Louds also made 11 kids. By the time they get to Futurama time, 20% of the population can trace their lineage to the Oh, gosh. How many years? What year does Futurama take place in? What was it, 23? You know what? Oh, I could just look it up. What year is Futurama set in? The year 3000. Okay, a whole millennia ahead. Yeah, that checks out. Honestly, that's the logic of the Loud family works. It's the only funny part of Time Trap for me. Probably an extension of people wanting to take children's cartoons and making darker jokes about them because funny. Yep. That's the dark parts of the internet in general, to say the least. And, well, that's the thing. When it comes to, at the very least, discussing shows aimed at kids primarily, you definitely gotta draw the line. Otherwise, well, Rule 34 wouldn't be so prominent. I'll tell you that much. Alright. The Right Stuff. Rita becomes the head of the writing club. Is it a writing club or a writing class? A writing club at Lucy's elementary school. Lucy, Haiku, a couple of other kids whose names I don't remember. I do remember their appearances, to say the least. Then it turns out Lucy wants to drop out because Mr. Huggins was in charge at first, but then Rita takes over. She starts taking them on field trips. Like, they end up having a lot of fun, but then it turns out Mr. Huggins is too uppity about the whole, oh, writing is about grammar. Writing should not be creative. Writing should not be fun. It should be all about just grammar, grammar, grammar. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. It's another one of those instances where, just like in Pulp Friction in season 2, Mr. Huggins, he just goes unpunished for being such a dick. Like, at the end of the episode, Rita gets caught, he gets fired, but then conveniently, the superintendent that thinks low of Mr. Huggins happens to be at the place where the writing club is performing. And then she agrees with Rita, and as a result, Mr. Huggins caves in for whatever reason. But then Rita is like, "Oh, Mr. Huggins, you can join us. You definitely had some merit in your idea." It's like, no, he didn't. He was just being an uptight jerk for the most of the episode, and once again, he goes completely unpunished for it. Like, I don't know. Like, I like the idea. It's a very memorable episode, especially for a Lucy episode, which we don't get a lot of in later seasons. So I'm gonna give it like a mid alright. The right stuff. It's a stretch, and this is the last good Lucy episode. Yeah, would I? I don't know. I can't think of any decent Lucy episode after this one. So for now, people are right. Racing Hearts. I've spent like 20-25 minutes talking about Racing Hearts and whatnot, and all of the episodes involving Sam in my worst episodes ranking. Supposedly, Sam is passed off before even Luna and Sam were even remotely implied to be romantically involved. Apparently, they just went with the subtext of Luna and Sam being relatively good friends beforehand. But there's nothing supporting that. And we didn't even know Sam existed until it was time for Luna and Sam to get romantically involved. And then it turns out, by the time, even though they were relatively good friends, or I guess her best friend by default because Luna has no other friends, like Mazzy and Sully, they go completely unnamed in Ellis until they form the Moon Goats, more or less, even though they do have appearances. So I guess Sam is Luna's best friend by default. Otherwise, what reason would she have for organically falling in love with her in some capacity, at least in the way they present it? But then it turns out, by the time of their first date, they don't know anything about each other. And honestly, that's a really big insult to Luna's character. Like, we already know how thoughtful and passionate Luna is, not just about music, but really, she's shown time and again how much she really cares about her family. Like, Lincoln trusts her when it comes to getting him a Christmas present she wants. Like, she organized the whole private concert to compensate for costing Lincoln his ticket. After she and her sisters took all of their parents' money, and there was no money left to get Lincoln his concert ticket like he always wanted. Why can't cartoons make a normal principal? They always make him a stereotype douchebag. Yeah, Huggins, and to a less insulting degree, Principal Ramirez is definitely not my favorite character in the series. So, honestly, you know what? I've said more than enough about Racing Hearts. I'd rather not repeat myself. So, just know, easy dog water. Easy dog water for me. Wait, what? The music stopped. Yes, I'm still watching. Oh my gosh, YouTube. Alright, stage play. In contrast, Luann and Benny, same writer, but somehow the upbringing of their relationship, completely believable. Literally the first line out of Luann in this episode is something along the lines of, "Oh, I like Benny, but we don't get to spend a lot of time together." And then, what did you have it? The school is hosting Romeo and Juliet. The school is hosting Romeo and Juliet. They start hanging out. They start getting a chance to hang out a little more. Then Miss Bernarder starts seeing the chemistry in them, so she casts them as Romeo and Juliet. But then Luann realizes, wait, I have to kiss him at the end. I've never kissed anyone. I've never kissed anyone before. How am I gonna do this? I don't want to disappoint him. And you know what? You believe it. Just cause we know how much of a prankster Luann is, like, for all we know, she hides her sense of playfulness. For all you know, most of the time, and this goes for a lot of people with a sense of humor, sometimes a sense of humor is more or less a coping mechanism for covering up your insecurities or your moral shortcomings, more or less. And you know what? This is a great display of that. And honestly, Benny, he's not entirely one-dimensional, unlike Sam. Like, he can be kind, he can be a little meek, for lack of a better term. But he can also be genuinely playful. He laughs at Luann's jokes. Like, he seems like the kind of guy who at first wouldn't be able to stomach Luann's sense of humor, or would find her pranking tendencies to be a little overbearing. But at the same time, he seems like the kind of guy who would be able to understand it, more or less. Know what I mean? So yeah, a very compelling love story. And also, the end of the episode is actually really sweet. Like, Luann keeps trying to find all these excuses to avoid the big kiss at the rehearsals, and then Benny comes to the conclusion that maybe she just doesn't want to kiss me. Maybe she just doesn't like me as a person. You know what? For her sake, I should just quit the play. Like, that's honestly, that's love. That is love. I don't know what to tell you guys. I think I'm going to place this in peak. Low peak or high good. Like, I don't know. Yeah, nothing was ever presented, and then suddenly, oh, we have, like, what can I say? What can I say that hasn't already been said? Like, it just tries to ride off of a lot of subtext that was never really there. And, well, that's just lazy. It's like, maybe I get what they were trying to do, because they actually pulled off a character with a lot of subtext in the form of Ronnie Ann. But with Sam, they completely fumbled the bag. But alright, Cooked. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't remember a lot about this episode, even though it's from... I almost thought it was Season 4, but apparently it's Season 3's finale. And then there's Antiqued Off for whatever reason. What were you paired with? To be honest, though, you know what? Let's do Antiqued Off first. Just imagine Hawkins... You mean Huggins, John? Luanny is an organic relationship that works? Exactly. Just imagine... I think you mean Huggins, John? Honestly, that would be a pretty interesting plotline. Just Huggins getting promoted and Ramirez just, I guess, quitting? I don't know. They wrote Sam as a gay first and a character last. That's the quick and short of it. Yeah. Yeah. Simple enough, Erica. What do I remember about this episode? Okay. Lincoln and Clyde. It's nice to see the bond between Lincoln and Clyde being challenged in some capacity, because as it turns out, Lincoln loves going to magic shows, but Clyde secretly hates it. But when Clyde wants to go to an antique show, Lincoln hates it. Lincoln hates it too. So Clyde starts hanging out with Zach because apparently he actually likes antiques. And then Lincoln starts feeling a little left out, but then he discovers Clyde only goes to the magic shows just because he really cares about Lincoln. So Lincoln realizes, hey, maybe I should do the same for him. But at the same time, the process felt a little inorganic, more or less. Like, I don't know, just the idea of Lincoln trying way too hard to fit in with Clyde, just when he starts hanging around Zach. Like, I don't know, it feels a little forced, and then Lincoln damaging all those antiques. Like, I don't know. Some moments they feel a little out of character, but it's nothing too egregious. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna place it in a low alright, just because I can't remember much about it. But alright, let me drink some water, guys. Hold on, real quick. Alright. And my thermos is empty. I might go get some water. Might go take a break to get some more water. You know what? How long have I been streaming? I have been streaming for almost 2 hours now, and we're not even done with the tier list. Okay, we're about to finish, though. Alright. Cooked. I think this is the Season 3 finale. Lynn Sr. finally opens his restaurant. From what I remember. All of the kids can't come to a consensus when it comes to promoting, because apparently Lynn Sr. accidentally had a typo in the flyers, so the family has to come up with another way to promote and advertise the restaurant, and none of the Loud siblings can come to a consensus, so they all tried their own other ideas. They all tried their own individual ideas. Lincoln and Clyde era commercial. Luann holds a promotion at the restaurant. Like, a lot of the kids hold a promotion at the restaurant, like a photo booth. Bring your pet to the restaurant. Get a free birthday dessert, something along those lines. And I don't know, it's a little messy in its premise and its execution, but at the same time, at the very least, the resolution is compelling. Like, things get so messy and chaotic that Lynn Sr. gets knocked out and they can't fulfill all the orders, but the family owns up to... I don't know. You know what? The more I think about it, nah. Even the resolution is a little too cluttered. The episode as a whole has a couple funny moments, and the idea of Lynn Sr. opening a restaurant, which was more or less pre-established in previous episodes, like in A Fridge Too Far, like the investor he won over, he was going to invest in the funding for his restaurant. Like, it's not an idea that came out of thin air. It was pre-established in previous episodes. He started working at as a dishwasher because he wanted to be a chef someday. Like, I don't know. It works off of a lot of pre-established ideas, but the execution is definitely a little too flimsy. So It's gonna be a low alright, just because I remember it making me laugh on more than one occasion. Lenny suggested bingo at the restaurant. How'd that play out? I don't... Like I said, guys, I have seen all the episodes, but at the same time, it's been a while, and... Well, it's really hard for me to be able to remember almost 8 seasons worth of episodes in total. Especially because I haven't rewatched them in a while. I'm just working off of whatever I can remember, more or less. The moment Lucy calls up Catherine Mulligan, yeah, it was ready game for the dad since he was knocked out and the kids had to improvise. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that whole Weekend at Bernie's shtick. Like, I don't know. When Drake and Josh did it, it was kind of dumb. But you know what? Drake and Josh is an overall silly show. Like, I don't know. It's like the whole puppeteering of someone who's unconscious. Like, that's a common trope. And it's based off an old movie called Weekend at Bernie's. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it overall. It just feels a little too unrealistic for comfort. At least for me. Rockin' D, my guy. She's dressed like punk rock. She has the dyed hair streak. Like, I don't know. Like, she definitely gives that lesbian tomboy vibe, to say the least, just from the design alone. Not to be too judgmental, but she definitely does give that stereotypical vibe. Luckily, she's not a stereotype. You know, the problem is she's not a stereotype. She looks like a stereotype, but she doesn't behave like one. She's just really bland. Like, her whole problems, it's not necessarily the fact that she looks like a stereotypical gay woman, to say the least. But she does give that vibe here and there, at least just from her design alone. But alright, guys. That is my Season 3 tier list. Obviously at the peak, y'all already know how I feel about white hair, really loud music. Like, I don't know. Discuss amongst yourselves. You know what? Okay, here's the thing, though. I tried to make a community post with my rankings of Season 1 and Season 2, but at the same time, like, for some reason, the file size limit for images on community posts is 1080, 1080. So it's gonna look really small, and you can't really zoom in and whatnot. So I don't know. Like people are just gonna be zooming in. Like, people are just gonna be doing that whole meme of Ken Jeong looking at a small paper. Like, when people are gonna be looking at my tier list, they're just gonna be like, oh? They're just gonna be squinting their eyes like crazy to be able to read it. Like, I don't know. At the very least, in this particular instance, you can see the whole title card for the episode. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I want to make a community post and see what the comments have to say about it, to say the least. But at the same time, I more or less stand by everything I said here. White hair, really loud music, head poet's anxiety, gown and out. It has a lot of the best episodes in the entire franchise. But at the same time, look at how many episodes I placed in the alright tier. Like, I don't know, when you have that many episodes that are nothing exceptional, like, it definitely says a lot. Like, you can definitely start feeling the seasonal rot here. Because keep in mind, guys, halfway through the season, Chris Savino, he is no longer credited as director, and I take that to imply that he is officially no longer involved with the franchise when he's no longer legally credited. I can almost read the titles. Needs less pixels. Yeah. Okay, I think the plan is to get the image and maybe make a whole tier list and maybe replicate the entire tier list just with a full-scale title card, because with the other tier list, guys, it only showed like half of the image with each title card. So I don't know. All I know is I do want to make community posts and provoke a little bit of discussion, if not controversy, to say the least. Like, I don't know. Would a lot of people disagree with this kind of tier listing? Okay, I know the Sam fans will, but I don't care what they think anymore, to be honest. And the story writers were trying to make the movie at the same time? Yeah, it dropped around... The film dropped in... I want to say early 2021? You know what? Let's look into it. The louse. Keep in mind, guys, I'm holding the microphone in one hand, so sorry if my typing is a little slow. When did it drop? Okay, late 2021. And most of the season aired around 2019, so... Yeah. a lot of the writers and a lot of people involved with the Loud House, it's safe to assume that they were working in production of the Loud House movie. Also, the pandemic in 2020 definitely held them back a lot more. So yeah, I think there's a reason why I don't know the writers for a lot of these episodes off the top of my head, to say the least. Okay, you know what, Erica? I feel like people are not giving season 3 enough credit because it has two of my favorite episodes in the entire series. But yeah, for the most part, it's definitely, you can definitely feel, I wouldn't say seasons 4 and 5 of SpongeBob. Like, that might be a bit of a stretch, but I don't know. I don't want to get into all these technicalities. To be fair, some episodes like Crimes of Fashion deserve to be good, so the downfall is not that bad. Really? Where did I place Crimes of Fashion? Okay, I placed it in like a high alright. Although the more I think about it, I definitely do like it more than Absent Minded. I don't know. Describing these as meh, it feels a little too generous. I think alright and meh are basically the same, so I'm gonna rename this as Yikes. In some ways, I think you were too hard on the season and too forgiving at the same time. Yeah, I guess, like, keep in mind, guys, this ranking, it's not entirely definitive by any means. Like, ultimately, it just hinges on personal opinion, general consensus, and what I do remember about each individual episode. The best part of the Loud House movie was the opening song. Yeah. Like, it definitely, ironically, the Loud House movie, it retconned an element from L is for Love, and I will always respect it for that. Like, it shows how Lynn and Rita met. Like, a lot of people don't believe in love at first sight, but I can definitely see those circumstances where it definitely applies. Like, it shows how Lynn and Rita met, how they went out, how they eventually got married. And you know what? I guess baby fever ran in both of them, because otherwise, how on God's green earth would you have it in you to have 11 kids? Because at the time they met, Rita was just a crosswalking guard. She was just a school crossing guard or something along those lines. And Lynn Sr. presumably still worked in IT. Like, how do you have the, like, even with like Rita eventually becomes a dental assistant, and that's definitely a much better paying job. But at the same time, that is definitely not enough to be able to afford 11 kids. So, mad props. Like, I don't know. People are terrified of the notion of a big family, but at the same time, if it's done well, if you can manage it, if you can definitely afford a good life for all of them, I really don't see the problem. Personally, I think this season has many more bad episodes, but also many good ones that weren't recognized here. Really. But alright, guys, that's season 3. Hopefully, I can turn this into a legible community post. As for season 4, yeah, that's when the franchise definitely started going downhill. Like, here, it was definitely a mixed bag, more or less. But at season 4, that's when the quality definitely started dropping, more or less. Season 5 and beyond, though, well, we already know how that worked out. Like, it's dumb luck. You'd be really hard pressed to find a good episode, like more than 2 or 3 good episodes in each season after season 5. But alright. Yeah, like, honestly, the opening song, Life is Better Loud, I still have it in my Spotify playlist. It's really catchy. Like, the cinematography is really sweet. Like, it's really good. Like, the animation, like, you can definitely, like, I don't know, it's just a really memorable song. Like, honestly, the ending of the song just... Okay, I hear noise outside my door. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? Ultimately, it's none of my business, but it's very distracting. Season 4 is better than Season 3. You know what? What episodes are from Season 4, now that I think about it? Not gonna make a tier list just yet. I just want to see... What does it have? Maybe I'm overlooking one too many episodes. Let me see. All the Casagrandes episodes, honestly, a lot of them are really meh. Except for, ironically, the first one. I actually really like Friended, and I really like Sid as a character. But alright, let's see. Washed Up, eh. Recipe for Disaster, you know what? That one's fine. And it's not the Ace Savvy. It's not... Like, I know I got a soft spot for Ace Savvy, but even then, it's still a really decent episode. Lynn Sr.'s recipe book gets stolen. Lincoln and Clyde, they go all Ace Savvy again, try to look into it. Well, it's not that his recipe book got stolen, it's just that someone was ripping off his recipes, and then it turns out it's Lynn Sr.'s cooking teacher from when he was in elementary school, and honestly, that was a really cute twist. Present tense. Okay, not a bad episode. The kids try to get a good birthday present for their dad because they start undervaluing the scrapbook that they made. Turns out he really loves the scrapbook. Okay. Good episode. You know what? I'm not going to summarize them. I'm just going to say good, meh, or bad. Alright, present tense, good. Any Given Sunday, good. Can't Hardly Wait. Kinda good, but also kinda meh. Above. Is this the one where Charles gets into that dog show? That's fine. Lovebirds, good. Rocketmen. I'd say meh. It's a memorable episode, but it's nothing too crazy. Grave Mistake, nah. I did not enjoy it. Leader of the Rack, meh. Tales of Woe, good. Just cause they finally bothered giving Stella character development after a whole season. Last Loud on Earth, I'd say it's fine. Stall Monitor, bad. Pimple Plan, good. Kings of the Con, really bad. Good Sports, meh. Jerry Antics, good. Exchange of Heart, good. Community Service, good. Deep Cuts, bad. We're really not bad. It's just, yeah, no, you know what? Yeah, it's bad. It's bad because it's boring. It's not bad because it's bad. It's just bad because it's boring. Game Off, I'd say it's good. Like, I don't know. We don't get a lot of Lincoln and Lana episodes, and I thought this was a decent one. Like, rather than focusing on Lana's dirtiness or her mechanical prowess, it just focuses on it's TLDR. Lana gets interested in a video game Lincoln is playing. She accidentally resets his save file, so she has to make it up to him before he notices. Like, I don't know. It's a really cute premise, and the ending is really sweet. I thought it was fine. Right or Wrong, I'd say meh, but it really teeters on bad. Perfect Gig, meh. Singled Out, meh, but really close to being bad. Like, it has a good resolution, but that's really all I can say about it. Brave the Last Dance, good. To this day, I'm still really mad. I'm still really mad that they virtually did nothing with Clyde and Chloe after this. Alright. Sister Act, good. House Flip, really bad. Don't You Forget About Me, really bad. Tough Cookies, meh. On Thin Ice, yeah, I'll say bad. Room and Horde. Is this the one where they have to... Wait, why'd the music stop? Wow, my playlist is over, I guess. Whatever. Hello? Okay, it's just buffering. Can't Hardly Wait drops a ball really hard. Really? You think so? People hate the Season 4 episodes a lot more and forget how terrible the worst films from Season 3 are? I guess. I come from a big family and my mom and dad did so much for all 8 of us. Yeah. I can definitely respect the hustle for a lot of... Like, it seems a little impractical to have so many children, but at the same time, if you both got really good, well-paying jobs, then I can definitely respect the hustle, to say the least. Like, I don't know, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. If you can upload more than one image in community posts, you can split the tier list into 2 images, one for each half of the list. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Erica. But at the same time, like I said, with seasons 1 and 2, I gotta replicate the tier list with the full title card, not just half of it, just so people don't get confused as to what I'm talking about. Just for the sake of avoiding confusion. Don't forget Lincoln and the baby eat 2 burritos out of her yeah, that one moment, like, in the movie, I really do appreciate the dynamic between Lincoln and Lily. I think it's really sweet, but at the same time, that one moment, it definitely got my attention in the worst of ways. Like, Lincoln and Lily trying to salvage a pair of burritos, a pair of breakfast burritos to avoid their while avoiding their sisters in the process. And apparently they failed, but Lily kept one in her diaper. Like, dude, that was literally in her I can't even. I don't think I can even describe it without being too graphic. Like, yeah, that's one moment that the writer should have definitely thought it through a little better. Oopsies. Did not mean to skip far ahead too much. All right. Tough cookies, meh. On thin ice, bad. Room and Horde. I'd say meh. Stars Scorned. I'd say it's fine. Lily starts hogging Lola's modeling spotlight, but then it turns out Lily, in her usual innocence, she just wanted to spend time with her. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was good. Senior moment, meh. Wheel and Deal, meh. Feast or Family, good. Darkened Story Night, I'd say good. Sand Hassles, good. How Double Dare You? Can I say it's good while wearing my nostalgia goggles? Because like I said, guys, I just love the fact that this show, every now and again, it did an homage to a classic Nickelodeon game show. It did it with Legends of the Hidden Temple, and now they're doing it with Double Dare. And honestly, that's a handful of shows that I grew up with on Nickelodeon. And so, can I say it's good without... Nah, I'll say meh. For the sake of impartiality, I'll say meh. Like, Lisa's behavior is a little too dickish. And that's really my only gripe with it. Like, I get that you want to win and whatnot, but at the same time, I know Lisa's definitely a little out of character, to say the least. Snoop's on. It's mostly fine, but once again, they're gassing up Sam for no good reason. Like at the end of the episode, oh, who was Luna's bad influence friend? Oh, it's Sam. Could have just as easily been Lori and been a lot more compelling. You know what? I've talked about this in my worst episodes video. Like, Sam just doesn't contribute to the plot's resolution or even the conflict whatsoever. She's just there. So yeah, it definitely loses points, but other than that, it's a fine episode. It's a good reflection. It's good character development for Luna, to say the least. Like, she may be rowdy and ambitious, but she's not a heartless troublemaker. I'm pretty much quoting my video word for word, more or less. But alright, Friends in Dry Places. I thought it was good. I can't think of anything wrong with it off the top of my head. Coop Dreams. I'd say meh, but teetering on bad. Like, I don't know. Just the idea of Lori being too greedy just for the sake of getting a car? I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. Alright, Oscar. Oscar, I don't mean to treat you like a buzzkill, but what do you got to say about Friends in Dry Places? Lenny was the highlight of How Double Dare You? Yeah, the irony of Lisa losing to the dumbest Loud sister. You know what? I can definitely appreciate that, even when I take off the nostalgia goggles. Wait, did I save the image yet? I did. Okay. But yeah, overall, Season 4 has a handful of decent episodes, but not a lot that I can think of off the top of my head, and that just tells me that they're not that memorable. Season 5, on the other hand... You know what? Let's get to it, because I doubt for Season 5 and beyond, I doubt I'm going to do like a full-scale tier list. Maybe I'll do one for Season 4 next weekend, now that I think about it. I would say tomorrow, but then I remembered I work tomorrow, so... Schooled, bad. I understand why people dislike it. There's a couple things I like about it, but it's overall a bad episode. Boss maybe, decent. Family Bonding, bad. And it's the introduction of David Steele. What does that tell you? Strife of the Party, bad. Kernel of Truth, it's alright. I like the idea of the Action News team. Ghosted, bad. Blinded by Science, it's a flip episode. What does that tell you? Band Together, meh. Cowpie Kid, not bad. Cape Saved by the Spell, not bad. Season Cheating is actually really good. Any flip episode, bad. No Bus, No Fuss, bad. Resident Upheaval, well, not bad, just really forgettable. Bad, bad, really bad. Undercover Mom, I'd say meh. School of Shock, meh. Election, meh. Zack Attack, meh. Flying Solo, not bad. Pearl Interrupted, eh. Diamonds Are For Never, boring. Rumor Has It, I'd say it's alright. Training Day, I'd say meh. Director's Rut, not bad. Friday Night Fights, really forgettable. Grub Snub, bad. She's All Bet, it's fine. Much Ado About Nothing, bad. Broadcast Blues, not bad. Camped, I'd say it's fine. Dad Reputation, not bad. Dream a Lily Dream, bad. How the Best Was Won. I'd say meh. Animal House, meh. Glory Days, not bad. In the Nick of Time, bad. Bam Scam, I'd say meh. Farm to Unstable, not bad. This the Cook, bad. For Sale by Loner, meh. Fright Bite, I don't even remember this episode. What is it? When a vampire moves into Royal Woods, Lucy must convince him to turn the Mortician's Club into Okay, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I straight up forgot this whole episode existed. I don't remember a single thing about it, so I'm gonna say bad for the forgettability. Loudly Bones, bad. Running Mate McBride, meh. High Crimes, meh. Appetite for Destruction, I'd say it's fine. Frame on You, I'd say it's fine. Now that I think about it, was this the last time Girl Jordan was ever a plot actually used in the plot and the narrative? Because after, like, at the end of the episode, turns out it was Girl Jordan who framed Rusty. But after this, do they ever use her in a single plot line ever again? And keep in mind, guys, this is season 5 and we're in season 9. Like, damn, it's crazy how many characters they keep neglecting over and over again. Yeah, the only one I can think of where I'm like, wow, this is really good, it's the Christmas one. Who wrote it? Now that I think about it, I need to see. Hold on. Seasons Cheatings. Wait, I could have just clicked the image. Hold on. Danny Warren. You know what? Let's see what else he wrote, just out of curiosity. But alright, guys, I think... What time is it? 6:48? I'm gonna go on until 5:30. We're gonna react to the Tunechi's first Owl House video, just because I'm still curious. What else did he write? Ghosted, yikes. Boss, maybe? Okay, that's not bad. Seasons Cheating's good. School of Shock, nah. Okay, he wrote a lot of Season 5. He has a handful of good episodes, but that's about it. Yeah. Not the most prominent writer in the series. Okay. Girl Jordan was sent to the void after that episode? Yeah. Like, you could tell, in Season 2, they were basically trying to do with her what they did with Stella later. And then you realize Stella got taken for granted as well, and ultimately... You know what? I don't want to repeat myself. Stella got done dirty. Girl Jordan got done dirty. Stella deserves so much better. But here we are with this show. But alright. Let's see. But alright, if this is what we're gonna do... I already saved the playlist, right? The Owl House is incredible now? Well. You know what? Before we get to that, I do want to see what he had to say about the Owl House initially. I'm guessing this was, right after Season 1. Yeah, because just judging from the title of the next, just judging from the title of his continuation, I'm guessing this was right after Season 1 ended and before Season 2 started. But the fact that he has to put outdated and offensive, it really just tells me that he really caved to the mob. Like, bro, okay, how old was he when he published this? If he was 16 in 2021, okay, he was 15 in 2020. Like, I don't know. You know what? Let's see what he had to say at first. Speaking of the Owl House, is it just a stretch, or is it one of Luce's outfits just a asexual pride flag? I don't even know what the asexual pride colors look like, to be honest, so I wouldn't know. All right. Yeah, Carl and Adelaide. Like, honestly, Carl on his own, he's kind of an ass, but when he's bonding with Adelaide, it actually came off as really compelling. Bobby, kind of neglected nowadays. Maria, not a lot to work with, but the rest of them, I can take it or leave it. The rest of the Casa Grandes, Sid, gone. But for the rest of the Casa Grandes, the rest of the cast, take it or leave it, to be honest. Disclaimer, this video is filled with a lot of edgy jokes that the mentally damaged or average Twitter user may find offensive. They are played for laughs and do not at all reflect me as a person. This is meant to be entertaining. Did he have to re-upload this? Just to put this disclaimer, if you find anything in this video offensive, then please send all death threats to my Twitter where you will be cordially... Okay, it's the same disclaimer as before. Okay.
You're supposed to be dead!
So apparently, since I haven't learned my lesson from the last time I talked about a show favored by a large cesspool of children and sexual degenerates,
He said it, not me.
the logical course of action would be to talk about the latest liberal power fantasy about witches
Okay, you got my attention, big dog.
intended for man children. Or is it woman children?
Oh my god, bro, guys, I will say this. I haven't watched the entirety of The Loud House, but the whole eat this sucker running gag, it's just... God, the fact that they use it in the first, like, 30 seconds of the whole series, you already lost me, man. That is just such a cringe line. Who the hell says sucker? Even in 2020, man, that is such outdated slang. It is, to be honest, I always thought it was cringe, even back in the day.
To talk about the latest liberal power fantasy about witches intended for man children. Or is it woman children?
This is a movie about space wizard intended, what the hell is the context for this?
It's really hard to tell these days.
They're the same picture.
Damn. Young Tunchi really did not hold back.
I'm aware that many of you knew that this comment section would be an absolute bloodbath, and hey, it's not like I didn't read
Thumbnail for the next video, originally meant as a full review, but then it turned into a review commentary on current cartoons. Haven't written the script yet, but it should be ready by the end of the week. Okay. The unoriginal depression of modern... What is this video? Okay, it's still called the same.
your warnings or anything.
The Owl House fandom is going to want your head on a pike for this law.
Bro, when do they not want heads on a pike for anyone who criticizes the show?
Duly noted and ignored.
The Subtle House is a Disney animated show
Okay, why does he call it the Subtle House? That doesn't even roll off the tongue. What are we doing, man?
created by Dana Terrace about a teenage girl played Subtle
wait.
House is a Disney animated show created by Dana Terrace.
Oh, God. I've never gotten a close look at Dana, but God, this... How do I put this lightly? This woman just reeks Tumblr stereotype. Just from her appearance alone, man. I don't mean to judge people based off appearance, but gosh.
It's about a teenage girl placed somewhere on the right of the autism spectrum, learning to become a witch with an exceptionally
Mental incapacities conditions, they are not an excuse for... They really do not justify Lucy's behavior. At least in the first season, to say the least.
talented rival that comes from a rich family and her two quirky friends, also known as Little Witch Academia with a side of bisexuality. Cartoon Chi, are you making this video to annoy the majority of the cartoon community again?
Hear me out. Maybe he just feels that way.
Yeah? Because this place is a fucking echo chamber, Jesus.
I mean, we've already established that IMDb is not the go-to source for genuine criticism. Like, that website's review tab, it has little to no quality control.
Christmas Christ. Obviously, with that thrilling introduction out of the way, you can probably guess that the concept of unoriginality will be a key part of this video. But what other problems could I possibly have, I hear you saying? Well...
Okay, is it Erica? Hold on, let's see. Asexual... black colors. Just purple, white, and gray. I guess this is more like a dark blue or a dark, like a... This is more like a, I don't know. It's more like a dark purple. It doesn't match it to a T.
Well, only everything. Hey, you want to know something about me? Now, I'm not talking about my repulsive internalized homophobia or my anti-Semitic tendencies. Thank you.
Is that really how they interpreted him? What website is this? Is this, what do you call it? I don't even know. I forgot. This is Tumblr, isn't it?
That, by the way, Lily.
Keep crying, baby!
It's that, truth be told, I do actually like a few things in this world. Ah, shit. Wait, let me fix this. I hate minorities.
Jesus Christ. I will say that, no, you know what? No. Nah. If he's okay, you know what? I'm gonna let him finish first.
Much better. But it wasn't until the 2010s rolled around when my tiny child...
Oh my god, that whole episode with the detention room, I hated it. Like, the whole premise alone. We're gonna brainwash you and dump you into this eldritch abomination's mouth, where he will cocoon you and brainwash you until you decide to behave. Like, that, even for a that is just an uncomfortable level of morbid. Like, I know half the time I'm like, wow, Gravity Falls is so bold with its humor, but even then, they understood the limits. This just takes the idea for granted. It abuses it. Know what I mean? Like, the world building is just so, it's freaky for the sake of being freaky. Know what I mean?
Brain began to experience true quality television. I grew up with plenty of great shows. Regular Show, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time. Before it was bad. Many like to claim that the 2010s is one of the best decades in animation history.
Was it though?
They're both right and wrong.
Yeah.
Very wrong. So wrong. As the 2010s progressed, the original spark that led to the creation of some of the finest animated programming of all time was beginning to dim. The overall quality of
yeah, this dropped in 2020. Gravity Falls ended in 2016. Definitely a very significant time gap, to say the least.
Animated programming in the 2010s seemed to have peaked at the beginning of 2016, with Gravity Falls, one of the shows to kick off this new renaissance of animation, coming to a satisfying and strong conclusion. After that, everything seemed to take an exciting and ambitious turn directly into a brick wall. Now, that's not to say there weren't...
I'm sorry, I was just focusing on the shot of the twins saying goodbye to Stan. Like, that moment will always hit me.
Things seemed to...
You've been nothing but a nuisance, and I'm glad to be rid of you. Then they're both crying and they're hugging, like... Damn. Gravity Falls is another instance of just catching lightning in a jar, just like Avatar, man.
Take an exciting and ambitious turn.
Yeah, Mabel Pines, she is quirky and weird done right. Basically the opposite of, basically Luz no Seda done right.
Directly into a brick wall. Now,
she is weird, she is quirky, she does gross you out a little, but at the same time, the narrative actually handles it respectfully and in a compelling way.
That's not to say there weren't a few diamonds in the rough. DuckTales 2017 proved that being a reboot for a new generation doesn't mean you have to constantly...
Honestly, I gotta watch it at some point. I've heard nothing but good things about the DuckTales reboot.
You kick the fans of the original show in the fucking knees. Samurai Jack had a revival that was pretty good until episode 8 with a plot... other than that, there really wasn't much else that was actually good. One thing that the
I don't really have an opinion on Samurai Jack, to say the least.
majority of these cartoons had in common, though, was that towards their final episodes, they choked hard.
Yeah, Steven Universe definitely fumbled the bag. With the whole, oh, she's blushing, White Diamond isn't perfect. Oh, suddenly she's gonna put an end to her tyranny. Oh, suddenly, like, I don't know. Steven Universe definitely fumbled the bag with their finale. They fumbled the bag in a lot of circumstances, but this one takes the cake.
Both in terms of their endings and on cock. It still completely baffles me to this day why after 2016, the quality of originally good cartoons dropped harder than me out of my dad's arms at age 3. Did this have something to do with—
Ouch! I keep forgetting how Toonchi was so out of pocket back in the day.
The Orange Man? Was Obama secretly the avatar of animation?
Hey guys,
No.
This is Barack. To Octavia and the Johns Hopkins girls, I want you to know I love
Cartoons.
Okay?
Different point of interest as a compromise that is just as impactful as politics, and is certainly more important than the conversation on America's gun control laws. And not because it involves children.
Okay, can we get to the point, please?
The Gravity Falls ended so phenomenally, managing to keep a tight and consistent quality throughout all 40 episodes, aside from maybe 2 instances where it went off the rails. It appeared that many up-and-coming writers—
Hot take. I like Roadside Attraction more than, I know the general consensus is Roadside Attraction is the worst Gravity Falls episode by default, but I would place Love God lower than that. Like, I don't know, the resolution, the only reason the resolution doesn't bother me to this day is because they clarified it in Journal 3, like that the love potion wasn't permanent. That's it.
just saw the overwhelming success that show raked in and the massive fan base it had developed, and
Yeah.
felt that they could pull off something similar. And by similar, I mean just do what Gravity Falls did that made it so—
Yeah, they really ride off of Gravity Falls' coattail. Hey guys, Ida is Stantic's wife. Please go watch our show. Ida is a relevant character in the Gravity Falls narrative. Please go watch our show.
popular by incorporating a bunch
Like, same problem as the Casa Grandes, just riding off of another show's success rather than trusting your own. Not that there was a lot to trust, but anyways.
of plot threads and mysteries. This completely changed things as cartoons were now basically trying to copy Gravity Falls with less than stellar results. Now, I'm not saying that Gravity Falls invented the concept of mysteries and loose plot threads that are eventually solved. What I am saying is that either this is a massive coincidence or maybe the second Gravity Falls ended, everyone tried to do what that show did. Now,
Yeah.
results of this kind of philosophy varied from okay to what the fuck are you doing? And even then,
Oh, Star versus the forces of evil. Hey, te chingaste, wey, te chingaste. Yeah, Star really fumbled the bag with that finale.
And these shows would handle these mystery plots and loose ends about as well as a drunken hippo in an antique store. Now, are these shows direct copies of Gravity Falls?
I mean, to be fair, Amphibia did actually get a good finale, at the very least.
No, but I began to see quite a few similarities. Again, this could be pure coincidence, but coincidence or not, there are similarities nonetheless. And this is where the unoriginality problem begins to stick its ugly head out. The reason I brought up the Gravity Falls example is that even though not every modern cartoon tried to copy its homework, it began a really annoying trend of modern cartoons either sharing the same kind of characters, tropes, mysteries, plotlines.
Oh god, the Steven Universe movie. Ugh.
By pure accident. Accident or not, it's still something that annoys me when I'm watching multiple pieces of animated programming in 2019. And surprise, surprise, they all share the same fucking philosophy around change being good or change for the better. Again, these cartoons are not directly ripping each other off.
Come to think of it, yeah.
The problem is that they share too many similarities, and when they aren't sharing similarities between modern cartoons, they are instead bringing forth another problem. When plagiarism or coincidental tomfuckery isn't
Okay, this has little to nothing to do with the Owl House. I want to say he'll get to it eventually, but let's see.
about, many modern cartoons take to just being generally unoriginal by implementing storylines and themes that we have seen about 100 times over before in the past.
Yeah, isekai, like the whole isekai trope, the magic school, just the freaky imagery, like this is a very common practice, if I'm being honest. At least in just fiction in general, not just in animation.
While being unoriginal doesn't
There's a reason Harry Potter is just. There's a reason Harry Potter, like. Okay, let me rephrase that. Harry Potter was more or less the originator, I want to say, and yeah, a lot of people have tried to replicate its success.
always handicap your show's quality, as any good writer can weave even the most generic themes and plot lines into a cohesive, fun, and enjoyable narrative.
Yeah, a school where you practice your supernatural capabilities. My Hero, Harry Potter, The Owl House, just to name a few examples. Like, it's a very, like, it just takes one too many common tropes.
While half-assing them, it's when you aren't a very good or very experienced writer when that becomes a problem. While not every cartoon that has done this is outright bad, I find Amphibia to be quite enjoyable, for example. There are
Okay, thank you.
lots of examples of modern shows just straight up not giving a shit about originality
What am I looking at here?
recently. Again, not all of them are terrible, but the majority tend to be. Anyways, have you ever talked for too long about something you're not supposed to be too focused on?
Okay, he is aware of the fact that he's been rambling about pretty much anything but the Owl House for the last 5 minutes. 6 minutes. Okay, this will always bother me. The main setting is a giant corpse. Like, this whole moment where Ida shows Luz the boiling owls, and Luz is like, it's so beautiful. Girl, it's a giant corpse. No amount of sunlight is gonna make it pretty. Like, what the fuck are you smoking, girl?
The Susso House is shit. Wait,
is that the banjo music from Gravity Falls? Like McGucket's theme?
Okay, I'll try to be serious. The Susso House is...
Wait. Let me read those captions one by one.
The Susso House is shit.
Overseen by r/edgelord. Seriously, this show isn't that good. Like, holy fucking Amphibia. It generally rips off Gravity Falls at points. Like, it's not the worst, but goddamn, so mediocre. Holy waffle fucking. Why are you even saying waffle? Okay. Why is Luz so good at magic? Yeah. Okay, that is one thing that definitely bothers me about about Luz as a character in general. It passes it off as if she figured out the glyphs on her own. She's the only person who could because she cannot perform magic naturally. But then, by the time of the finale, it turns out the Titan just gave it to her because she thought she was funny. And, well, was she? I don't think she ever was. I genuinely can't think of a single time where the show actually made me laugh.
Okay, I'll try to be serious. The Susso House is... fine.
So I guess if you think about it, Luz no say that real low-key, kind of a Mary Sue.
But it has a lot of problems and I want to talk about them. But first, I must mention some of the things the show does well. Even if it's the bare fucking minimum, I really like the way the show looks and moves. It feels like a more stylized version of the horrifying Cal Art style. Oh, by the way, this video was brought to you by I'm Late to the Hype.
Okay.
It's like playing one of your video games without the stick of happiness.
Do you mean the joystick?
Yeah,
can't believe they let that get past the censors. For those of you who don't get the joke, the joystick is a metaphor for penis.
Okay, just stop.
The animation itself is actually pretty solid. There aren't any noticeable cut corners, certain parts are animated very smoothly.
Okay, I will give credit. The fight between Ida and Lilith near the end of season 1, it was actually really enjoyable.
And I really like the show's color
Or let me put it this way, it's well animated.
palette. It feels like a perfect mix between both Star vs. Season 1's explosion of color and Gravity Falls'
Yeah, and the crazy part is, Nitro, Luz didn't even earn it, as we come to learn in the finale. She didn't figure out the glitz on her own. The Titan just let her have it because of her sense of humor or something like that. Like, it's, like... The only reason Luz has managed to do anything at all in terms of the narrative, more or less, and you mean to tell me that she didn't even earn it? The whole reason she stands out, more or less, in the narrative, in the setting, in terms of the whole cast, and you mean to tell me she didn't even earn it? Nice.
more laid-back look, which I guess makes sense given Dana Terrace, the creator of the show, actually worked on Gravity Falls as
I mean, Boot, the place is literally called the Demon Realm. It's practically the same thing.
a storyboard artist.
As if the satanic undertones weren't already unsubtle as is.
It's not exactly animating, but it might explain more than a few similarities that will
Both shrinking episodes have scenes involving mirrors. That is true. Oh, you're right.
get to in a bit. The show also has a pretty decent soundtrack. The main ones that stick out are the opening theme and ending theme, which are both really pleasant, memorable, and
Yeah, I don't hate them.
hell, if this show improves with its second season and onwards, the ending theme could actually produce some nostalgic feels when looking back on the show in a few years' time.
Although it's basically the same as Star vs. Ending.
The rest of
Oh my gosh, you're right. It basically is Star's ending. She's just walking around town, saying hi, and yada. Wow, okay, you're right. It did rip off Star's ending, more or
the
less.
soundtrack is generally fine. There aren't any bad tunes, it's just that the majority of it isn't too memorable. But then again, I don't tend to judge shows based on their soundtrack. I like most of the characters, although that's not to say they're all well written. Luz is likable enough, but can get a bit overbearing at
Really? I'm not gonna lie. I disliked her from the start.
times. King is voiced by Alex Hirsch.
And I will say, Alex Hirsch, you did not need to humor the show, my guy. Like, to say the least, like, it's really hard for me to take King seriously. Like, in the emotional moments, it's really hard for me to take King seriously when it's literally the voice of Bill Cipher. Not Alex Hirsch, just literally the voice of Bill Cipher. The exact same impression, more or less.
That's basically all I have to say about that, as he expectedly has some pretty funny moments.
Now I am king and queen! Best of both things!
Ida is a bit of a mixed
I thought that was kind of cringe, if I'm being honest.
bag for me, because on one hand,
Gravity Falls inspired show. Don't flip your shit. This will make sense later. Yeah. Did you guys know Ida is Stan's ex-wife?
but she can also be pretty entertaining at points. Gus and Willow are just
Honestly, Wendy Malick as Ida, it's really good casting, but at the same time, same problem as Alex Hirsch's King. It's really hard. She just doesn't deliver when it comes to the serious moments.
kinda there.
Like when she's fighting with Lilith and Wendy Malick had a really hard time delivering an angry tone. Like a tone where she's genuinely angry.
Also, and I actually really like Amity's development. If there's something I will actually defend about this show, is that Amity's development isn't exactly rushed, it just happens a bit faster than expected.
Yeah, a lot faster. Like she's basically Pacifica Northwest, but they intentionally tried to develop her. Like with Pacifica, it wasn't until Northwest Mansion Mystery that everyone started shipping her with Dipper, and they were like, okay, Pacifica deserves more screen time.
Duh, but that means it's rushed, you fucking imbecile. Let me finish my fucking sentence. Dickhead. Usually, redemption arcs take a much longer time than Amity's, I'll give you that. And personally, I think it would have been a lot more interesting if she had another season to develop, like go down more of a Zuko redemption path, if you know what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean her arc was rushed exactly, because when you go through the episodes, you can see her
At first, it was like, okay, Luz can't do magic. She seemed like she was being dumb about it at first, but you can tell after interacting with her, she realizes, okay, she does try. She cannot perform magic the normal way, but at the very least, she has a means, and she wants to take her training seriously. So, okay, deal's off. You're good. You're cool, Luz. You're cool. Then there's that whole episode where for some reason, her mom won't let her hang out with Willow because her magic is weak or something like that. Like, I don't know. It felt really forced if you ask me. But anyways.
Her changing gradually after meeting Luz. And when you find out that she's been conditioned to behave the way she does by her parents, it begins to get a lot more
The reasons for the conditioning, though, they feel really contrived. I will say that.
believable that she's willing to snap out of it when she's with people she's had time to get to know and like. You know, as opposed to bully trope number 70 over here.
Yeah. What was her? I can't even remember her name. It's nice to see Amity grow as a character, but hot take, her falling in love with Luz, it did not feel natural whatsoever.
Her arc isn't as long as an expected arc. I'm sure it's actually good, but it still works out without being rushed. And that's where my praises end. Overall, The Sussex House is an enjoyable show at the most. It's funny at points, it has pretty good
To be honest, it never made me laugh once, from what I remember.
animation, a decent soundtrack, and a mildly interesting world, topped off with some entertainment.
Yep, I straight up forgot it even existed until Lumity started making headlines. Because, oh my gosh, gay romance in a kids show, in a Disney show. Praise, praise, praise. 9 out of 10 out of 10 now. Like, that's straight up the only reason I know the Owl House even exists. Like, I heard it was on the way. Like, I more or less saw headlines about the new show coming to Disney Channel and whatnot, but I straight up forgot about it until everyone wouldn't shut up about Amity.
Entertaining characters. However, this isn't nearly scratching the surface of the main problem that holds this show back from greatness, and that's the writing. God, the writing. Now, as said, sometimes the writing isn't complete ass, but to say this show was just disappointing to watch would be a massive understatement. So it's time for me to stop being a nice
Yeah, the pilot left a really bad taste in my mouth. Just the pilot. What does that tell you?
guy and to finally prove once and for all that the Sussex House is the worst fucking thing to exist since Facebook gaming. Let's take a look.
Oh right, Facebook gaming was a thing.
At every aspect that the Sussex House manages to fuck up, along with some concerning levels of unoriginality, almost on the level of actual plagiarism.
Yeah. Is that the only instance you can think of, though?
Please don't sue me.
Owl House and the Curse of Copied Homework. You put subtle and Al together. That's very funny. Okay, it still doesn't really roll off the tongue, man.
When the Sussex House was first shown off in 2019, I was originally quite excited for it because it looked interesting, to say the least. A story-driven show by one of the people that worked on Gravity Falls about which—
Wasn't she just like an illustrator in Gravity Falls, though? Or did she actually get involved in the writing and whatnot? I don't know for sure. By all means, guys, let me know. If you know for yourselves.
This is magic. Not the most original concept out there, but the potential is practically limitless. This is going to be great. You fool! What we got—
Yeah, they did not. They really didn't do anything with the concept of magic until Ida's fight with Lilith at near the end of season 1.
instead is a show that offers nothing that hasn't already been done before by much better writers, rampant cliches and unoriginal episode ideas, and
Yeah.
facing so horrendous
Body switching, getting shrunken down, like just rip
fast.
the rich girl with a troubled upbringing. There's a lot of cliches though that I honestly thought that I remember.
It'll give J.J. Abrams a run for his money. At least that's one thing they have in common. J.J. Abrams a run for his money. At least that's one thing they have in common. Let's
Yeah, China would not let that
take
fly.
it from the top. The Sussex House is a story about Luz, a human girl who is sent to summer camp for being overly autistic at school.
And are we just gonna gloss over the fact that she was genuinely dangerous? She brought a box of snakes to school when she only needed one for her book report presentation. Who knows where she left the backup snakes? And apparently, somebody found them on accident and they're all over the school biting everybody. Like, yeah, girl, summer camp is a freaking mercy. Like, girl, juvie.
Luz as a character is likable overall, but she's another one of the hyperactive girl characters that animated programs have.
Yeah, unlike the rest of these girls. Okay, I don't.
Character is likable overall, but she's another one of the
Unlike Mabel and Star, like, no, I'm not a fan of Luz. I like Mabel, I like Star before season 3. I don't know a lot about Webby or this version of Batgirl for whatever it's worth. But Luz is just Mabel, except not done right.
hyperactive girl characters that animated programs have been churning out as of late. Oh great, as of writing the script, there's another one.
Okay, to be fair, Molly was actually pretty acceptable. Like, at the very least, it's a little subversive with the idea.
They're spreading. They're spreading. They're spreading. Oh god, they're spreading. Burn them alive. At times, Luz can be charming, but there are other times where her antics.
Like, Molly definitely came off as charming, and she actually showed how being too quirky and too sweet can actually be problematic. I can respect the Ghost and Molly McGee for that.
Can range from mildly infuriating to actually retarded. She
Jesus. Damn.
regularly gets herself into trouble by doing things she's told not to do constantly. Doesn't seem to think about
Things that she knows damn well is a bad idea.
what could happen if she does the said
Why would you agree to a deal where if you agree to a duel knowing damn well you don't stand a chance, and you knowing that if you lose, you can never perform magic again? Not that you ever could, for the most part. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, man.
stupid thing and doesn't seem to learn her lesson until really late into season 1. You can call it courage, I call it, why the fuck did you think this was a good idea? But you know, it's fine.
Yeah, breaking into the Emperor's Coven in the middle of a field trip to help like her intentions are good, but she should know damn well that it's a bad idea. She's a lot. You're not that dumb.
Most of the time it works out in her favor because
Dumb luck, if I'm being honest.
also she's bi, because of course everyone cared. Oh wait.
Because
What's
Dana was like, oh, I'm bi, so the character I created has to be bi. That's it. That's the only reason Lumity is a thing.
this, Disney?
When we were greenlit, I was told by certain Disney leadership that I could not represent any form of bi or gay relationship on the channel.
Did you feel like you need to? Or did you feel like you have... Did you have to? Let me put it that way. Did you have to? I'd say no, but that's a story for another time.
What a twist!
Oh, I get it. So Disney's progressive and pro-LGBT. Except they are.
They're not. They're not.
But they kind of are.
I guess I don't know, man. We all know how inconsistent this Disney is with it, and the people pushing for it, I don't trust them either.
Except they aren't. Hey, don't bother questioning it. It's gay!
So disgusting.
Luz ends up being taken to the Boiling Isles by complete accident by following an owl thing that took her book through a magic door. There's nothing wrong with starting your story with a coincidence. That's actually how the majority of some of my favorite stories of all time started. I mean, goddamn, the word destiny is already said enough in
Yeah. The whole reason Avatar started in the first place was because Sokka and Katara were conveniently screwing around near an iceberg, and they accidentally found Aang.
Avatar. You really want to tell me that it was destiny for Sokka and Katara to find Aang? I don't think so. My problem is that coincidences just seem to happen in the Sussel house in a way that doesn't feel like natural story progression. Like 5 seconds after Luz meets Ida, some guy randomly shows up, shouts out that Ida is wanted while holding up a wanted poster for her.
That is true.
You are a bad guy.
Yet every other time in the series where Ida gets in trouble, we don't see this level of exposition ever again. It feels like a really ham-fisted way to give the viewer and Luz some information about Ida, and unfortunately this is one of the minor writing offenses of the show. Anyway, let's talk for a bit about the show's incredible world building.
Bellows said that mixing magic was wrong. That only he had that right. So he created the coven.
Ooh, the world oh god. The world building is so bad, man. Oh, I'm the Emperor. Only I get to use all the magic I want. Like, that's it? You all have to split up. You all have to go into covens. Like, that's it? Okay, what's the reason for it? Like, they never really elaborate on it. Just, okay, Bellows is evil, but what more than that?
Knowledge was restricted. Those who resist are called wild witches, and they face harsh punishment.
Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna study everything.
Wow, Sailor Moon transformation. It's not like I've seen that virtually fucking everywhere.
It's not great. I know that's a harsh thing to say for a show of only 19 episodes. Wait, 19? Why not order 20? Maybe then you wouldn't have to fill 2 episodes worth of plot into a 22-minute piece of shit. But the world building that is here is incredibly loose.
Ha 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 ha. Okay.
There isn't much to talk about here, and what there is to talk about isn't fleshed out enough or
Wow. Float doors that'll take you wherever.
is interesting enough to be worth
Every shot I see of this show is just another cliche, man.
mentioning, because the majority of the world building is given to us in the beginning.
Wow. World building and exposition through a book. Where have I seen that before?
30 seconds at the final fucking episode. Oh, if I mentioned that the show's pacing is tragically bad?
No way!
Even though I defended Amity's character arc early on and said that it wasn't rushed,
Thank you.
that doesn't exactly change the fact that the rest of the series is really awkward with its pacing. Each episode runs for about 22 minutes, standard runtime for a story-driven show. However, most of the time it ends up feeling remarkably shorter. Now you might see this as a good thing. I see it as the show throwing throwing all of its ideas at the viewer at once because it didn't get the number of episodes they were expecting, and
Okay, I will say though, the Titan's heart in the Emperor's throne room, that's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
desperately needed. I mean, why else did the finale end up being? I'm getting ahead of myself, I'll get to that one later. Details about the show's lore and the backstory of its characters just end up being thrown in the script without much warning or elaboration, creating the illusion of a multi-layered world with fleshed out characters, but it ends up being about as shallow as Luz's IQ points.
Luz no se da. Confetti.
For example, there is a
Remind me again why I never laughed at the show? Okay, I know. Never mind. I know. Like, people think this is funny? People thought the show was funny? Straight up. I've seen around, I want to say 80% of the show, and not once did it make me laugh.
potentially interesting backstory to be told of Ida, as she was cursed as a child to turn into a savage monster. Now, how would you go about revealing this backstory to the viewer? Personally, I would take advantage of the show's mystery aspects, and create a slow, gradual reveal with little bits and pieces for the audience to put together, which will then culminate in the show's finale. Fuck that!
Nope.
You stupid!
Just randomly throw in a few flashback scenes in random episodes of Ida remembering the day she was cursed, which doesn't actually make any sense because she wasn't awake at the time it happened, and a shadowy figure that she can't possibly remember.
Yeah. That is true. She doesn't remember how she was cursed, just that she was cursed, so how is she having flashbacks of a time where she was completely unconscious? Yeah, realistically, that doesn't make any sense. Even with the whole magic trope.
Because she was asleep, that will be revealed in an epic climax. Ida's sister randomly blurts out that she's the one who cursed her just to win an argument. What a compelling backstory! That's exactly.
Aren't they like in their 50s? Aren't these two ladies in like in their 50s? God. With how classy Lilith is, that is absurdly petty. Like, ugh.
Exactly how you get success nowadays. Checkmate, homophobes. But what about Luz, stuck with a dilemma of fulfilling her lifelong goal of being a witch and learning magic, while at the
Or owning up to her mistakes and going back home. Like any well-written character. Not that the narrative ever actually encouraged any good behavior out of her, for whatever reason.
same time missing home and feeling guilty about leaving her past life behind her as well as her family.
Yeah. Abandoning your mom, she already lost her husband, you're all she has left, and you decide to abandon her for God knows how long. She can leave anytime she wants. Throughout the span of the first season, she can go back home anytime she wants, but somehow she doesn't.
Then, in the last episode, she destroys her only way back home just to
Yep.
save a few people she's barely gotten to know for the best part of a month. What a believable character.
Yeah, honestly, when Ida gave in to the curse, she's like, "Thank you for being part of my life, girl. You haven't even known this kid for like a month. Like, how do you get this like?" None of these character dynamics are organic or compelling in any way. Like, gosh, man.
And with the final episode, which I'll definitely get to in a bit, there are multiple parts where the world building is taken a little ride into an active volcano. Apparently, Ida was always popular with the residents of the Boiling Isles, so beloved to the point that people were chanting for her to.
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you say, bro. Wait, is my stream hiccuping? Okay, we should be fine now. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we're good.
No one shows up to her shop, which is pretty weird for a supposedly beloved and popular witch. She's reported
Even for a criminal.
by random fucking people to the police when she's spotted, sometimes outright captured by random fucking people and given a choice between working for them or being sent to the conformatorium. Ida is treated like complete shit, and then all of a sudden it's like there's an element of her past that we just haven't seen yet. Speaking of Ida, she likes to make a big deal out of the fact that she's wanted by the Emperor's Coven for being a wild witch, but at the same time she doesn't actually try to make an effort to disguise herself or make herself less obvious.
Yeah, you're just chilling on a bench in public. What makes you think this is a good idea?
For fuck's sake, do you want to be captured or not?
I'm Ida, the Owl Lady, the most powerful witch on the Boiling Isles.
Yeah. Say it louder for the people in the back, dumbass.
You may be forgetting something, Luz. I'm kinda on the run.
Ida doesn't... It's Always Sunny music. Okay, that's a really good cut.
Round as the moon her ears are, with mood swings as terrifying as night itself.
Assign her fucking name, not disguised at all.
Then there's stuff about
Okay, Boo, we should be good now, from what I can tell. At least from what OBS is telling me, you should be good now.
Witches being able to do magic because of a sack on their hearts, and that Luz can only do it with drawn-out magic glyphs.
Which never would have happened if the Titan didn't just pity her all of a sudden.
That's quickly dropped. There are so many more can only do it with drawn-out magic glyphs. That's quickly dropped.
Yeah, keep in mind, this was before. This was published around the time season 1 ended. We didn't find out that the Titan gave her the ability to use glyphs until the finale. Keep in mind.
There are so many more inconsistencies with the show's world building, but these were the main ones that I could...
Wait, does the audio keep cutting out for you guys? Okay. You know what? It's about time for a break, so hopefully OBS will get its act together, but I'm going to take a water break, and in the meantime, hopefully OBS will get its act together. Or I can just reset the stream. I don't know. But first, I think it's time for a break anyways. I have not taken a single break this entire stream, and we have been live for, what, 2.5 hours now? But alright. Where's my playlist? Okay. I'd like to believe we're good now in terms of audio quality. So let's get back to it, guys, shall we? We should be done soon, actually. It's actually 5:30. I want to be done before 6 because I got work tomorrow and I haven't had dinner yet, so...
Fine just from simply watching the show. I legit wasn't even analyzing what I was watching too thoroughly. I just got to the finale, saw Luz use a staff, and was all, now hold on a fucking tick. Ida also has a sister.
Yeah, even with the staff... I guess they never established that if she can use magic with the staff, but even then... I think the whole point of the glyph, the whole purpose of the glyph is because she can't use magic by normal means. Like, if Ida really cares about her the way she did, why didn't you just lend her the staff? If it came, I guess she would lend her the staff if it came down to it. I don't know.
Named Lilith.
What's up, killer?
Now, first of all... Second of all, I do actually appreciate...
Oh, you're right. It really just is Stanton Ford. One is rambunctious and outgoing, and the other one's composed and smart.
Their dynamic a bit. Lilith is only evil for the sake of reversing the curse she inflicted on Ida when they were kids, as she is promised by Emperor Bellows that if Ida is successfully captured, her curse will be healed and she could be a part of the Emperor's
Yeah, if anyone should have seen right through his bullshit, it's her.
coven. That goes exactly how you think it's gonna go, by
Yep.
the way.
I will not be healing her.
But you promised me. You tricked me.
Okay, the moment he said that, she should have been like, okay, I'm done with the coven. It's the only reason I joined. Later, losers.
Ida still has love and respect for her sister despite not agreeing with her ideals and will not hesitate to put up a fight with her. However, after the finale, this dynamic stops being interesting, as Lilith is just suddenly redeemed within the span of 5 minutes. Classic storytelling right here. This show has a lot of potential to do great things with its ideas, but it never seems to go completely through with them or just takes the route of mediocre
That's good, Boot. That's
writing
good.
instead of actually doing something new. The Subtile House is a show that you've seen done 1 million times before, despite its shiny and interesting exterior. And it just gets better as the majority of the episodes are exactly the fucking same. Luz wants to do a stupid thing, Ida or another character explains why the stupid thing is a stupid thing, Luz does the stupid thing, Luz learns not to do the stupid thing too recklessly in the future, except not, as the next episode continues with Luz doing the stupid thing because who cares? Character
Yeah.
progression is gay anyway, of course there's no place for it. You go, Disney. It also appears that a basic understanding of logic should be put in place, as there are many scenes in the show where my reaction to what was happening on screen can be summed up as... Prime example of this is in episode 4, The Intruder, where Luz tries to record Ida performing a spell so that she can look back at the footage and learn to do it herself. Later in the
I thought we established she can't do magic on her own. She can't do magic naturally. Why is she even trying?
episode she ends up dropping her phone and breaks it. Nothing too out of the ordinary, except for the fact that if your phone breaks from...
Like, straight up, in the second episode, I think Ida tells Luz, oh, you can't perform... Oh. We perform magic because we have this thing on our hearts. Luz doesn't have it because she's human. 2 episodes later, she's still trying? Like, where are we going with this?
Falling from that height...
I mean, we know where it went, but it's still really dumb.
And you clearly bought it from a black market, didn't you, Luz, you fucking scab? And then, when Luz looks back on the video, her phone glitches due to it being broken, and I shit you not, lad, a symbol appears in the middle of this...
I forgot how stupid this was, bro.
Spell, and Luz miraculously learns that drawing these symbols on paper allows her to perform...
It's not even that she was looking at the video frame by frame. It was just glitching to the point where she saw that symbol.
Spells. You what?
Like, and later we learned, like, in the finale, we learned that the Titan let her use glyphs, but this is how he did it? Just hacking her phone?
What the fuck have you brought upon this Christian land, you refrigerated cunt waffles? For one, how does it make sense that a phone can just simply glitch and then alter what has been recorded to reveal a spell symbol? Number 2, if spells can simply be learned from symbols, then surely this means the show's over, right? Luz can learn just any spell in the book so long as she's able to draw a fucking symbol. In fact, that's literally what happens in the final few episodes as she learns...
Would I rather be the new owner of the Loud House or rewrite the story and reboot the whole series? I'd say just be the new owner and give it a proper conclusion. Like, I don't know, a reboot would definitely... If I have any semblance of artistic integrity, I would just give it a proper conclusion. Like, a reboot would just feel tacky and uninspired.
Multiple new spells like this. Such a talented character. Number 3, what purpose does Ida serve in this case if the entire point of the show being that Luz learns how to do magic and become a witch?
Yeah, she learns magic through glyphs. She does not need Ida whatsoever. So, I guess Ida's just giving her a free residence at the Boiling Isles?
makes the character of a mentor.
Like, you've only known her for a couple days at this point. Like, why do you give a shit about her? Why did she even let her stay with her in the first place?
Are completely obsolete. This isn't even the worst of the show's gaping plot holes, because then there's stuff like Principal Bump, yes, that's his name, I'm disappointed as well, just violating the school's policies and lets Luz learn magic from every single coven, despite the fact that that's, oh, I don't know,
Physically impossible?
oh, illegal, meaning Principal Bump either forgot up at the law for 1 second.
Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet.
I'll jog on, or he just really didn't want Luz to be in his school. Gotta admit, that's a pretty good power move.
Yeah, I'm gonna study everything.
There are plenty of little inconsistencies that wouldn't be too bad if they were occasional, but they happen almost regularly and turn an easy to follow but logically foggy plot into, oh, it's really unlucky that you managed to hit the big scary monster from 15 light years away. Oh, it's really lucky that your phone for some reason has its flash enabled the second you drop it from a 30cm height. Oh, it's really lucky that your phone breaking from a 30cm height just so happened to be benefit. Okay, jokes can't explain it that well. What even happened in this scene? Oh,
Yeah. Like, was the symbol just in one very minuscule frame of the video, or just it doesn't make any sense.
Pretty lucky that everyone in this world has a chromosomal disorder and can't tell the difference between a human and an actual abomination. Like, are you taking the fucking piss? Okay, so we've gone over the world building and flawed character writing. What about the show's actual plot? Well, through season 1, Luz is staying in the Boiling Isles for 3 months to avoid summer camp and to learn magic with Ida. Ida herself is one of the—
Yeah, it's not what bothers me, it's not the fact that Luz avoided summer camp, it's just that she didn't own up to her mistakes, and the narrative encourages her to never own up to them, which she never does. She got God knows how many classmates killed or hospitalized because of that whole incident with the snakes, but here we are.
Mentor characters who likes to fuck around and be lazy as opposed to actually teaching.
Like, they give her this guilty demeanor throughout the episode, but initially at the beginning, at the pilot episode, but as the episode goes on, it's just, who? Snakes who? Forget about those guys. Just come to the demon realm.
Anything until eventually the time comes where they realize that some teaching is required. That would have been okay, but holy god, did they drag this out or what?
Alright, I'll teach you how to be a witch, but you have to work for me before you learn any spells.
Okay, at least she's working for her, so she's not getting free housing.
I am ready for my first day of witch apprenticeship.
Who are you again? At a magic staff, huh? You really want one?
More than anything.
You'll have to work for it.
Read ancient scrolls or mix together potions.
It sounds like a
Even these cliche characters are familiar with all the magic cliches. Ugh.
bunch of magic school stuff. Hey, here's a lesson. A great witch is
Yeah, honestly, that says a lot about the writers. Sometimes you can just tell when the writers are just as immature as the teenagers that they're writing. And this is a prime example of that.
Like this.
How am I supposed to earn my witch's staff if I don't know any spells?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
No. Sleep.
But how can I, little old Luce, do magic if I don't have a magic bile sack?
You know, I'm not actually sure.
She didn't even know that she could just borrow her staff. Okay, yep, screw this show.
They're for witches! Ida, can we go?
Absolutely not. Oh, that's right. I haven't taught you many spells, huh?
No
I want
shit.
to learn magic, and they teach that at Hexside.
I mean, yeah, well...
Which you physically cannot make any magic. You dumbass.
I don't want to hear another word about Hexside.
At the end of the day, that's the only spell I know.
And who...
This might be why people gotta be extra careful with magic in shows. It's so easy to eradicate any tension or conflict, making magic too easy to get. Yeah.
Whose fault is that?
Yours.
Ha! Yep, got me there. I have been researching my texts on wild magic, but I'm much too busy right now.
There's text on wild magic? I thought it was forbidden. I guess she wrote them herself? I don't know.
I shall now teach you how to identify different types of snow by taste.
Can you please take this seriously?
You need to take me seriously. Don't worry, kid. If you listen to me, soon you'll be doing stuff like that. But you have to trust me, okay?
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sure you were taking your job very seriously with this kid you just met.
thank God, some actual plot progression.
You've covered snow, so now it's on to smelling moss. Now the trick is, you really gotta get it up in there.
Again, It's just gross for the sake of being gross. It's just creepy for the sake of being creepy.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Luz eventually just learns magic on her own because Ida suggested to her to get it from the island as magic is a gift from it. Which not only makes every single time she said she'll teach Luz magic even more frustratingly retarded, but it
And meaningless.
in turn makes Ida even more useless as a teacher because she didn't teach Luz jack.
Yeah, what's the point of even going her to Hexside if she can only perform magic with glyphs? Something that literally nobody else in the Boiling Isles can do. Like, I guess they can show her the glyphs, the symbols, and whatnot. Can they even? I don't freaking know. This world building is already whatever.
Island did. Sure, she said to get the magic from the island, but all of her bullshit tasks in episode 12 were just done for quirky's sake and have no connection to Luz just randomly looking up and finding that the snowflake that fell on her hand had the glyph for an ice spell.
Yeah, didn't even need the school. Just the environment.
Does this mean that every element of the island has a glyph that can be copied down somewhere, or was Ida getting high on moss supposed to be an insightful learning experience? Well, it wouldn't be the first time children's programming has tackled substance abuse.
It's me. This is my future. It is.
Where is this from?
If you don't get off those drugs.
Anyway, as much as
Oh my God.
Ida hitting the cactus juice again, I think it's about time we talk about
Drink cactus juice. It'll quench ya. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
more about the similarities to other cartoons. By other cartoons, I mean Gravity Falls. By similarities, I mean straight plagiarism. That might be over-exaggeration, but yikes,
Is it?
is questionable to say the least. As stated, the Subtle House has an originality problem. Everything the
Yeah.
show does has been done before and by much
Discount Harry Potter, discount Gravity Falls. I could go on.
better writers. The show is plagued by cliches like the fish out of water and finding belonging, which is supposed to be the core theme of the show, by the way.
Like, it wouldn't bother, the whole fish out of water idea wouldn't bother me if it wasn't done so poorly.
And if you didn't gather that obvious subtext, then don't worry, they put in a lot of effort to make sure you remember.
Yeah, just because I remember you doesn't mean you're good. And in this case, you're definitely not even funny.
I love your creativity, but it's gotten out of hand. But if you can learn to separate fantasy from reality, you may need to spend the summer here.
But I don't like any of that stuff. I like editing anime clips to music and
Should have thought about that for bringing snakes to school, you dumbass. God.
reading fantasy books with convoluted backstories.
Miha, your fantasy world is holding you back. Do you have any friends?
The Conformatorium, a place for those considered unsuitable for society.
Wow. Your jail has the word conform in it. Really subtle with the imagery there, Dana.
Stupid warden likes to lock people up who don't fit in. Like, I write fanfics of food falling in love.
Ugh. It's so fucking preachy, bro. Ah!
I'm here because I like eating my own eyes.
We are agents of free expression. They will never silence us. None of you actually did anything wrong.
You did, you dumbass.
We're all just a bunch of weirdos like me.
Let this be a lesson to all of you. There's no place in society
But sure, the people who acknowledge that are the bad guys. Sure, whatever.
for you if you can't fit in.
No! My weak nerd arms! They just want to be themselves. Why does everyone think that being a weirdo is so bad?
Because you got people killed, you dumb...
Besides, us weirdos have to stick together, you know?
We belong here.
Yeah, literally just Tumblr jail. Subtlety is out the window.
Out is a prison you could never escape from. So you have a different way of doing things, a different way of seeing things. That may make you weird, but it also makes you awesome, don't you see? Because us weirdos have to stick together.
Thank you. Oh my god, the plankton, that clip of plankton is so perfect.
Subtle House is not very subtle with its themes and messages, made even worse by
Okay, now it makes sense why he calls it the Subtle House. Okay, I get it now.
the restated fact that it doesn't try anything new. It's also not very subtle with what it takes inspiration from or flat out copies. Out of the 19 episodes this show has, over half of it was full of episode concepts that I've already seen before, and the ones that weren't like that were full of cliche plot beats or predictable storytelling. The Slumber Party, a meeting with a rival that leads to the main character making the stupid decision to challenge them. A main
Yeah.
character letting success or fame trump their friendships and having the exact same realization scene as every episode that's done this. A meeting with a rival that leads to the main character making the stupid decision to challenge them. Again.
Again,
With a main character.
that whole what was that sport called? Grunge something like that.
Characters get shrunken down to a microscopic size and have to find a way to get bigger. An episode where the main character enters another character's mind in order to save it, and the body swap episode. Hey, you wanna know something interesting about those last 4 episodes? They are literal retreads of existing Gravity Falls episodes. I'm not making that up.
And somehow Alex Hirsch was cool with it. Case in point, he voices the literal titular character. He voices Hootie, and then he voices King.
How odd is it that a show created by someone who worked on Gravity Falls just so happens to include 4 episodes in her show that are basically stolen all the way down to the fucking imagery?
Both episodes about shrinking, Bone Seeds involve mirrors and the shrinking device. Both involve an antagonist with a vendetta against a group of people.
Sure, it's not the same plot word for word,
Yeah.
but there are far too many similarities for this to truly be ruled as a coincidence.
You know, considering they canned the show and then give them the 3-episode finale, now I really wonder what would happen in the original end of the story. For example, yeah, what about the Collector? I guess the Collector, I don't know. You can tell they had to rush through his backstory more or less in that 3-part finale.
Body swap episode is
But honestly, I don't expect anything interesting out of him.
commonly used in a lot of unoriginal TV shows. But given the work experience of the show's creator and the other episodes of this show, it just seems too familiar to be ruled as a coincidence.
Yeah, girl, you worked on Gravity Falls in some capacity. You think she would have... You think she'd be self-aware of the fact that she's ripping off another show she worked on.
And just like every other
Like, it's a freaking miracle. Like, if Alex wasn't friends with Dana, he probably would have sued her for plagiarism.
body swap episode, no one can seem to get the fact into their minds that swapped minds does not mean that someone's physical appearance and voice should change. And that since this is a thing in the episode, it gets really
Like, yeah, why did they have to... I guess it's part of the magic, but the fact that Luce's face is on Ida's body, it's just it's a very unsettling visual.
fucking strange when none of the characters seems to care about that fact. It's like I said, all of the characters in the show have some kind of chromosomal disorder. But Lilith here has to have fucking Alzheimer's if she can't tell this is Luz.
Oh, thank goodness, a familiar face. You're Ida.
Yeah, the face, the dialect, everything, dude.
Sister, right? Is it Libby? No. Limby?
Who the fuck are you?
At least JoJo made an effort with this plot. This is just plain amateurish writing. And what's funnier is despite these episodes being taken from a different show, you'll still find that Gravity Falls handled all of them with good writing, even if it still had the body swap problems. Maybe I'm thinking a little too deeply about this. I mean, it's not like Disney would genuinely allow these episodes to be copied from another one of their...
Yeah, boo. I guess ultimately they just couldn't let go of the whole, oh, the genocider is the bad guy. Oh, ultimately his goal is genocide. Like, Belos? Like, in the first season? Like, part of the fun with Belos as a villain, at least in the first season, was just a mystery. Like, why does he do what he do? Why is he such an ass? Like, why does he forbid wild magic? Like, when he confronts Luce at the season 1 finale, he's like, oh, everything I do, locking up Ida and all that, it's nothing personal. I'm just following the Titan's orders. Give me the portal to the human realm, and I'll let her go. But then, season 2 comes in, and it turns out, nah, I'm just an asshole. I hate witches. I want you all dead. My goal is genocide. Like, the resemblance to remarkably common political talking points I've heard in the past several years. Like, the resemblance is just too uncanny. And do you know what? When you have such a striking resemblance to modern identity politics, it tells me everything I need to know about this show. All the more reason it doesn't have my respect.
popular shows, right? Is there any quality control at Disney after Starverse's season 4? Or were they just really confident in the show being a success? If that's the case, then it certainly paid off for them.
Wait, let me see that again.
Confident in the show being a success. If that's the case, then it certainly paid off for them.
Anime TV, yikes. The Collector wasn't even a character, some kind of antagonist in the show? Yeah. See, like in the finale. Oh, we outsmarted the Collector. Oh, he's a good guy now. Like, that's it. They really didn't, I don't know what they were doing, man. Like, I get it. You know what? You had 90 minutes of screen time. You had a 3-part finale that was, and all 3 parts were what, 1 hour long each? You had 180 minutes of screen time. That's almost a whole season to flesh out your characters and wrap up any loose ends before ending the show. And they still bossed the Collector.
Soul House already has a pretty sizable and dedicated fan base. An impressive feat for a cartoon that only started at the beginning of this year. And overall, the reception to it is rather positive. Around 80% of the 187 people who voted on my poll on Twitter seem to agree that...
How long ago was this? 2020, October 4th, 2020. It's only 187 votes, though. And you know what? It was Twitter before Elon owned it, so that doesn't surprise me.
Subtle House was a good show. The replies were a little more mixed, many saying it was decent, meh, okay, or outright bad. This was an interesting experiment to say the least, because even though I'm not looking to take away anyone's love or enjoyment from the show, it does make you wonder if the cartoon...
I do. Like, when I criticize the show, I'm hoping people will actually see the reason and actually agree with what I'm trying to say. Like, if you want to keep enjoying it, I'm not stopping you, but if you want to listen to what I have to say, then be ready to look at the show differently. That's all I'm saying. Like, especially when it comes to shows that I've talked about, like the Loud House.
Community is willing to overlook massive flaws in a certain show's writing if there's a lot of hype surrounding it, or if we've been so starved.
God, that whole detention room, it still makes me really uncomfortable.
The revolutionary animated programming since Gravity Falls ended, that anything that comes remotely close is sufficeable enough. You be the judge. I should probably talk about it, you know, the thing.
Do you though? I mean, I feel like you've said enough.
The gay.
Yeah.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Reddit. Of course it's Reddit.
Now calm down, calm down. I'm not here to express my disgusting xenophobia.
What? What does that have to do with What is... Okay, you know what? I'll let him finish.
I'm actually here to talk about why I think the romance between Luz and Amity is one of the most rushed...
Okay, we should be good now. Stream crashed for a little bit, but we should be good now, guys. What was I saying? You know what? Go back a little.
Yes, I defended Amity's character progression, not the romance between her and Luz.
Yeah. It's basically Ronnie Ann. I respect her character. I can definitely see the development, and I can definitely appreciate that. But a romance with the protagonist is completely unnecessary.
The relationships between the characters in the show is actually a relatively big problem as Luz grows a fondness towards Ida, King, Gus, Willow, and Amity that trumps her love for her home and parents within the span of a month. But with Amity...
What parents are... Oh, right, we don't know her dad is dead yet, but we never do see him. We meet her mom, but there's no mention of her dad whatsoever.
We're talking about...
So I guess it's implied that they're divorced or he's dead. One or the other.
Romance here. Lumity suffers from something I like to call Korasami sickness, in reference to the Russian
Came out of nowhere and makes no sense.
gay romance between Korra and Asami in The Legend of Korra. Just not nearly as bad. I mean the ship and the show. Don't watch Korra.
The Last Airbender will always be better and you're objectively wrong for thinking otherwise. Yeah, okay, yeah. I would say thank you, but you know what? That's a general consensus.
Kids, it's Amity becoming friends with Luz is something I can get behind, given what we know about her character. What I don't...
Not to mention that they come with the idea of Bellows needing Titan blood while he sits in front of the heart full of blood. I guess there's no means of extracting it from the heart safely? But then again, he's a freaking emperor. How would you not get some scientists or whatever in on that stuff? Like, yeah, you need Titan's blood to power the door, apparently. And, well, Bellows has immediate access to it, more or less. So, it would have been so easy, but oh my god. Plot hole after plot hole after plot hole, man.
Understand is how a friendship like this can quickly turn into a crush. Yes, I am aware that Lumity isn't exactly a relationship yet, because as of now, it's just Amity crushing really hard on Luz, while Luz is completely oblivious because...
Yeah, I'm not buying that crush whatsoever. 5 episodes ago, you didn't even respect her as a person. How am I supposed to believe that you have a crush on her now? Like, bullshit.
As previously stated, she's about as dense as a rock. But as long as you're willing to ignore the fact that there's obviously a relationship being built up here, then yeah, disregard this all you want and say it's just Amity having a crush. It's still a very rushed and forced relationship. Out of the 19 episodes of the Subtle House, there are about 11 episodes that feature Amity in some form or fashion. Out of those 11 episodes, she plays a major role in 7. Out of those 7, there are 3 episodes where she grows a fondness for Luz over time, and if you really want to be specific, there's only 1 episode out of all those 3 where she actually shows signs of liking Luz.
As a person, presumably.
Lost in language, given that all she had towards Luz was resentment but eventual respect after 2 episodes.
Okay, it makes portals without the door, but it still it powers the door. It's in the key, something along those lines. You know what I meant, Hernan.
It seems rather odd that she's now just really into her. The next time we see her is in episode 13, The First Day, where Luz pops out of one of the magic door things in a secret room and finds her contemplating whether things are weird now just because she's in school with her. 3 episodes after that, and she suddenly has the idea to...
Again, Luz has no reason to attend school anyways because She can't perform magic. All she has is glyphs.
As glues out for Grom, which is about the point where I began to notice that this is happening just a bit too fast. This is another instance where the pacing affects the writing tremendously, because if the show had a few more episodes, then they could probably go through a better romance story in more than just a handful of episodes. I will never understand why the show had 19 episodes ordered. They got less episodes given to them for a story-driven show than Pickle and Peanuts. Pickle
Still had it better than Lincoln and Stella. Unfortunately.
Fucking Peanuts got more time to express its absolute nonsense, while the Suttel house was left with barely enough time to flesh anything out. That is the funniest thing I have heard all week. Now, I can't just talk about Lumity without bringing up the main reason why this show's fanbase has suddenly exploded, right? Oh, you think I haven't noticed?
Yeah. If it weren't for Lumity, this show would be rotting in obscurity.
Why else would the show get insanely popular all of a sudden? I mean, I saw more tweets about the show praising this one episode and saw more stan accounts pop up than any other time where the show was airing. And doing any kind of research shows you that after August when the episode aired, the official subreddit more than—
Like, if that's all it takes. Just girl. Not an actual legitimate relationship. Just as long as it's two girls. That's how your show gets popular. Great.
Doubled its members. I get the feeling the show is just
way to undermine any semblance of genuine artistry.
a tad overhyped. But then again, I can see why so much hype was generated over this episode.
Do you, though?
Good. No, genuinely, I am actually being genuine here. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Like, still, Lumity is being rushed faster than a child predator into a jail cell.
Oh my, that is a very uncomfortable metaphor, but go on.
But I thought the episode was fun, I thought it was paced just about right, and despite my critiques of the ship itself, I did find Luz and Amity's interactions to be pretty cute. I can see why the ship exists, I'm just not much of a fan of the execution. But hey, at least it's more believable than this garbage. Yeah.
I mean, if the bar is just that low, what does that tell you?
I don't really have much to say about episode 16, other than I think it's the best episode of the show. But given everything else about the show, that's not exactly—
Okay, I gotta keep in mind that this was before season 2 even started.
Exactly saying much. Overall, Lumity is a very rushed and forced ship that, despite being a good pairing, is not paced or written correctly at all for it to be seen as a believable relationship. That might change with season 2, but who knows?
Did it though?
Who did you want to ask out? Oh, it's not important.
It was you. What am I missing? You know what? Doesn't matter.
Oh my god! Now, before we get to this next segment,
okay,
I'll quickly touch upon the show's dialogue and voice acting. Overall, I'd say the voice actors and actresses did a pretty fine job. There's not much here that's really outside.
Okay, I know I said I'd stop at 6 o'clock, but at the same time, there's like 14 minutes left in the video. I may as well finish it, even though I'm hungry.
But I did really like Matthew Rhys as Emperor Bellows, so that's something worth noting, I guess. Alex Hurst does the best he can as King, and ends up being one of the best things about the show, but at times it sounds a bit too similar to his voice for Bill Cipher. In fact, King
it's
Bill Cipher without the voice.
Virtually exactly like Bill Cipher in terms of the voice.
Try to catch me when I'm covered in grease. I'm a squirmy little fella.
It's funny how dumb you are.
Well. You're awfully persistent, Pine Tree. Hats off to you.
This isn't a plagiarism problem, it's just that Hurst doesn't really have any new voices that we haven't heard before. Like hearing Grunkle's—
Honestly, I would have liked that a lot more if King actually had Seuss's voice, because Alex Hirsch also voices Seuss.
Stan's voice come out of the guards gets incredibly distracting at points.
You won't get away with this, owl lady! Yeah, alright, you did. You got away with it.
I didn't even notice that. That does sound like Stan.
She got away with it, everybody!
I'm funny.
Then there are times where the VAs just stop trying altogether.
Hey.
Yikes.
The dialogue, on the other hand, is a lot more inconsistent. It varies from—
This is clearly not the PG fantasy world I always dreamed about. So, can you help me get back home?
Yeah, okay. All the way down to—
And I practice the ancient art of fanfiction!
Jesus Christ. Ow! Okay, that is very graphic.
Where they try and make Luz a relatable weirdo teen by showing how
she's not.
She's super cool and weird because she watches anime, writes fan fiction, she's gay, and there are multiple other instances of the dialogue being complete and utter sewage as well.
Wow, she really is just a Tumblr stereotype.
Well, granted, it never does get to the level of
stay away from my dad's ex-girlfriend.
But it's nevertheless distracting. But now, I want to talk about the show's finale.
Fuck you!
Yes, I'm talking about it, be quiet. Truth be told, there was still a part of me that was hoping the show would save itself from its mediocrity. Season
It didn't.
finales are always good ways to showcase the very best or the very worst of your show's writing. And when that might have been a bit of a red flag given the rest of the show's beautiful quality control, I was still optimistic that I would at least get glimpses of a much better show. But then I got around to
Okay, you know what? So far, he hasn't. Why is he labeled this video outdated and offensive? So far, I haven't really found anything that I wouldn't expect, or that really surprised me.
watching it.
Yeah, Bill Cipher's a good villain. His voice doesn't carry over to a character who's not a villain. Okay.
Are you Episode 19, Young Blood, Old Souls, is one of the worst episodes in the entire series. It takes every single one of my problems and then proceeds to amplify them to an absolutely absurd degree. Everything from the pacing going about a mile a minute, the completely borked world building, Lilith being redeemed out of literally nowhere, Luz destroying her way back to the—
Yeah, something that really should have happened much sooner than this. Like, the moment the Emperor says, I will not heal her. Like, Lilith should have realized, the only reason I joined is because I want to heal Ida. I'm out.
People she's known her entire life, just to say—
And like, the one person who has managed to avoid the Emperor's clutches up until now is the very reason you're serving the Emperor in the first place. So why didn't you just go to her? I guess Ida would think it's a trap, but that would be a hell of a stretch. But why did you just tell her the truth then? Like, oh my god, I have so many questions with very stupid answers.
The equivalent of ADHD. I get you want to try being consistent.
Yeah, okay, I guess because he used the R word every now and again, but is that really it?
Now, but trying to make the episode experience equivalent to Luz's cognitive problems is not exactly what I had in mind. About 70% of all of the world building presented in the show so far is shown to us within 30 seconds of the episode starting. 10 seconds after that, Luz suddenly gets up and says she's going to save Ida from Emperor Bellos. Then the episode starts. Then 1 minute later, we cut to Ida and Lilith meeting Emperor Bellos. Then Bellos says that he lied to Lilith about wanting to heal Ida in a shocking twist of fate that no one could have possibly seen.
Okay, I take it back. Okay, he didn't say he would heal her until after he caught her. Okay.
Coming.
What a twist!
And then he waltzes
Alright, Jorge. We're almost about done here, anyways. So thank you for sticking around.
away, expecting no consequences to come up over this. But it's okay because Lilith has devoted potential decades of her life to the Emperor's Coven, right? She's their poster child, she's the main commanding force, she's subservient to the Emperor, she can feel and do whatever she wants now that she's been lied to, but she won't do a 180 and betray Emperor Bellos. Then she does a 180 and betrays Emperor Bellos. Then we cut to a news report where the reporter and everyone watching the report is visibly upset that Ida has been captured, as if she's some kind of unsung hero, which has never been I wrote Ben.
Yeah, you've been over this already.
In the script from the episode, it's like Ida for some reason meant something to the residents of the Boiling Isles, even though
He really didn't.
that was a concept that was established earlier on. She would be a lot more popular, wouldn't be reported to the police by random citizens, and would probably have actual customers to come buy her stuff from her store, but who cares? Consistency is gay anyway, no wonder there's no place for it. You go, Disney.
Lots of cunts.
Like, there's no setup for Ida being remotely liked by the residents of the Boiling
Yeah.
Isles before this, and even then.
Maybe with the principal, but that would be a bit of a stretch.
And what could she have done to gain the reputation that she suddenly has? All we know is that she's wanted because she's a wild witch, but what else has she done exactly? Are the townsfolk just upset that a wild witch has been caught? Where is my world building? Willow and Gus suddenly appear and suddenly hatch a plan. Then Luz and King intentionally get themselves captured to save Ida. Then we arrive at the Conformatorium where Luz proceeds to completely wipe the floor of the Emperor's guards despite having very limited magical experience from school. I'm sorry, but if
That is true. She didn't really have a lot of practice with glyphs, let alone offensive magic. Like, how is she sweeping through all these guards?
she's learning from school, then how long does it fucking take for her to be able to master a spell? Especially if she's using paper glyphs and not any of the current ways of using magic? How do you train your magical abilities to get better when you rely on using magic paper? Like, is it always this strong? Did the guards not think to even chain Luz up or anything? Like, did they seriously not expect her?
I mean, I can see why they underestimated her, but even then, her standing a chance doesn't. Take your time, Internet. Take your time. Take your time, Internet. Take your time. Has it really been 7 times, John? Oh, gosh. I counted at least 4 or 3, but damn. All right, we good now? We good now? Thank you.
In fact, why not just chain her up anyway? She's
Yeah. Apprentice to the Owl Lady, the only one capable of wild magic in the whole demon realm, the one person who has managed to escape the Emperor's clutches consistently. And you mean to tell me you don't even chain up her student as far as you know?
Convicted criminal, according to you, for Christ's sake. Is there a reason why Luz was taken to the conformatorium and not the police precinct that was shown in episode 8, especially given it a severe minor offense?
I didn't even catch that.
Why the fuck did they send Luz there when they thought she was Ida? Surely they would have taken her to the conformatorium the second they got a hold of her, as that's supposed to be the fucking plan, right? Am I the only one who seems to give a shit about this? The guardman draws Luz a map, because everyone in the show has the IQ of fucking tinfoil. Then we cut to outside the conformatorium, where there's an entire crowd of people debating whether or not Ida deserves her punishment. And then one of them says,
Do you really think Ida deserves a petrification?
I don't know. This is all happening so fast.
Then I shit you not.
Yeah, it is happening really fast. That's part of the problem.
A second after this happens, Gus and Willow just appear on screen and start talking before splitting up. The complete lack of self-awareness here is fucking mind-boggling. Then we cut to Lilith saying she'll capture Luz. Then we cut to Luz entering the room with Ida, where Ida explains that Luz has to leave and go back to Earth, where Luz then says,
Us weirdos have to stick together, remember?
Am I the only one that thinks that Luz and Ida is kinda...
uncompelling?
Like,
Yeah.
Expect them to care for each other, but Ida acts like she's known Luz for a long time.
She practically treats her like she was her own daughter, more or less, and honestly, that's a hell of a stretch.
When it's literally only been a month. Might be me just nitpicking, but something about this seems off. But before you can think, there's a fast twist of fate as Lilith appears. And after that, there's a short fight scene between Luz and Lilith, before they then end up falling through the door to Earth. Then we find out that Luz can't use spells on Earth. But before you can question that, Lilith decides to... Holy shit, just calm down, show! Not only is the writing generally bad, but stuff just happens in this episode without any elaboration most of the time. It just keeps going, it never actually paces itself. It's fucking infuriating. Seriously, you want to know why it may seem like I'm rushing here? Because the episode itself already has the pacing of a summary, which means for the actual summary, I have to go about 2 times as fast. Good lord, we're already 10 minutes in and there's already been enough plot to fill a normal episode if it's paced. And it only gets much worse from here. Lilith then suddenly breaks and says that she deserves to be an Eden.
Like, why were you even attacking her in the first place? She can't use magic anyways. Why did you tackle her? Just say you... Oh my god, man. It's all just happening so quickly.
Place, which leads to a really forced flashback segment to show that her and Ida used to be the best of friends.
I have the impression that the original plot for Season 3 has nothing about Philip or Bellows being the same guy, or even the mass murder ritual. What makes you say that?
Until Lilith cursed her and... It's almost like the twin sisters had one of them screw up their life's work to create a tragic backstory. Where have I seen that before? I do wonder.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The resemblance to Stan and Ford, it's a little too similar. It's just Stan and Ford, except that they're ladies.
Except this lacks any of the substance, emotion, and weight that Stan and Ford's backstory had. Like, Ida literally just says that she doesn't want to fight and then says bye to Lilith, and all of a sudden the curse kicks in right after, like, what? Surely
okay.
The curse would take effect immediately.
How did Ida find the elixir that could cure her? That's a good question. We never find out.
Why is everything terrible? So Lilith is just redeemed now. I'm sure it made sense.
Wait, do we? I think we do. You know what? Don't quote me on. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But did we ever learn where the elixir came from?
At some point during the development for the show, who knows? Anyway, Lilith and King get captured by Bellows. All of Ida's anger over Lilith ruining her life disappears within a second. Like, there's no...
Yeah, that's really convenient.
Begrudging trust or spite or anything.
Kidnap your protege. She's the one who cursed you. She's the reason you're here right now. But suddenly it's okay because King tells you that.
It's just love, baby. Gus and Willow grabbed the microphone from Gus's dad, which is supposed to be a broadcasting mic, not a stage mic.
That's really convenient.
It's not going to make you louder. There are no speakers. The prisoner from episode 1 says he helped him escape from jail. Even
I thought when Ida's mom visited, like, Ida just disregarded her solutions to her curse because they never work. So did she provide the elixirs? I don't know. Doesn't matter right now.
That was Luz's doing, you muppets. Apparently the store clerk was helped by Ida. That was never shown. And
that never actually happened.
Love teaching after she left school, which is supposed to be a joke. What compelling evidence against Ida's petrification, guys? What are you gonna do to make this more cliche? Start chanting at the guards to let her go?
September 1939.
Yep.
Nazi Germany invaded Poland. And for more than
Yeah, very earned and compelling moment, Dana.
Luz has a short fight with Emperor Belos before she is then apprehended, but not before she bullshits an ice glyph into existence and pokes Belos' eye with it.
Yeah, strongest witch in the whole realm. Defeated by a little ice spell or whatever you want to call it.
She also miraculously knows how to operate a staff and use spells with said staff, even though the show's already frustrating.
That is true. Yeah, she knows how to use glyphs and magic to a small degree, but how the hell would she learn how to use the staff? I guess it just runs on willpower? I don't know.
Fragile lore states that magic comes from a sack on a witch's heart.
That Luz doesn't have.
And Luz being able to use spells by drawing their symbols was supposed to be a way to work around that fact. But no, apparently she can grab a staff and use magic.
Yeah, fuck the glyphs. You can just use the staff.
Without any kind of fucking training in that
And she eventually gets her own.
regard. She just does everything related to magic so perfectly. You go, girl! Belos chuckles, and then we are given the big reveal this series has been leading up to.
I like your spirit.
Belos wants the door to Earth for a reason that hasn't been elaborated on yet, and Luz just coughs it up. Sure, not like you're leaving behind your family or anything for a group of...
Yeah. Leaving your whole leaving your family, leaving everyone you ever knew at the mercy of this clearly powerful asshole. Yeah, really smart of you, girl. For a lady you haven't even known for like a month. I think that because the series plot holes around having a witch hunter living for 400 years and creating a plan that only kills the population of Wall Island while he already has all he needed, including how to make a door. I guess we'll never know for sure.
Known for a blink of an eye in terms of your fucking lifespan. But oh, what a twist. It turns out she flat out destroys the fucking door. Luz heads up to the petrification thing, which for some reason stops shooting the glowy green stuff and leaves Ida half frozen. Perfect time for Luz to destroy it, obviously. That's just so lucky. Luz, Ida, King, and Lilith managed to escape with Emperor Belos saying that he was ordered to leave Ida in her cursed form to act as a lesson of the dangers of wild magic. Despite it being, you know, a curse.
Yeah.
She didn't inflict it upon herself. You know, if you're gonna try and spout propaganda, maybe don't contradict yourself in the same sentence. Just a thought. Then Lilith shares the curse with Ida, which doesn't share the apparently incurable form, but instead just gets rid of both of their magic.
Don't think about it, they clearly didn't either.
The
yeah.
episode ends with a teaser for season 2, as Emperor Belos attempts to fix the door to Earth. Right.
Again, you have virtually immediate access to Titan's blood.
So that episode takes basically all of the worst aspects of the show and mixes them into a complete and utter abomination. I wanted to take my time to break it down because it really is that bad. And for some reason, this is one of the highest rated episodes of the show on IMDb. But then
Yeah, again, IMDb, when it comes to their review tab, they have little to no credibility or quality control. Don't listen to IMDb, guys.
And again, it's not like people on IMDb are renowned for their stunning intelligence. What was surprising to me is that a lot of people seemed to like this finale and thought it was satisfying.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think my brain just committed suicide.
Who's this guy?
If you've got some kind of enjoyment, I can always respect those kinds of people. But after that summary, if you want to honestly tell me that this episode was objectively good, and that I'm just a homophobic douchebag who likes the concept of contrarianism, well, you're not wrong about that. I meant
about the contrarian part?
The second one. And there
okay.
really is only one option that can settle this debate once and for all.
Okay.
It's really unfortunate that the Subtle House's writing ended up being this mediocre or just straight up terrible at points. This is a show with potential for creativity, yet it never manages to do anything remotely.
It gets wasted. Just like with the Loud House, it gets wasted for the sake of a quota or an agenda.
Interesting. And at times, it genuinely feels like the series was being written as it went along, and that barely any of it was actually planned. But then again, that's...
But whatever, it's Tumblr's favorite show. I'm not allowed to talk shit about it, am I?
That's what writing in the 21st century has devolved into, so I don't know why I'm surprised in all honesty. People can tell me all they want to just wait for the second season, because they're sure it's going to get better. They're sure this is going to be the next Gravity Falls, or Adventure Time, or Star Versus before season 3.
Oh, we know.
The unoriginal depression in modern cartoons and the gradual decline in quality, I've learned to not get my hopes too high. I could absolutely be
well, for the most part, it kind of didn't, but we already know how Tunji caved to the mob, more or less. And apparently Disney was basically going to use the same premise for a series of the series for a movie that they announced not that long ago. Para eso mejor dejaban a la serie terminar como estaba planeada. What, you mean that That one movie they announced at D23. What was it called? Hexed? Is that what that is? Nah, there's no way.
Proved wrong about all of this, and season 2 will be like some sort of masterpiece. Yeah, no, this is a series that I'm not too interested in keeping up with. I may have enjoyed my time watching it overall, but I cannot.
Yep. It failed in so many aspects. But when you ask anyone why it got canned, why it got cut, why their third and final season got cut short, people are going to say, "Oh, it's because Disney is homophobic." Bull freaking shit.
In good faith recommended to anyone looking for a good story-driven cartoon. If you want to
This place sort of became a small safe space for people who dislike the show or are indifferent to it. Yeah, more or less.
watch a show that offers basically everything that the Subtle House does, but better and with actually good writing, well, Gravity Falls exists.
I'm glad that my channel can more or less serve as a haven for people who can actually, for people to express their grievances. Like, I appreciate the idea that I can, like, y'all have seen me argue time and again with every now and again with people who disagree with me about Luna and Sam, people who disagree with me about the Owl House every now and again. Like, I'm not gonna lash out just because I think you're wrong about, or you think I'm wrong. Like, I'm glad that the spirited discussion can actually last in this channel, more or less.
For a reason. But why should my criticism matter exactly? Me, the big, scary, contrarian me. Well, because there aren't enough people pointing out the blatantly obvious flaws in the show's writing, and are just...
Oh my god, when Ida got beheaded, like, again, another instance of the show just being creepy for the sake of being creepy. Freaky, rather, is more accurate.
Sucking its dick because it's the popular thing to do. People need to realize that there's a clear difference between enjoyment and quality. Season 2 isn't going to improve.
I know, I didn't like the Owl House. Yeah, boo. I never trusted it from the start. The fact that it owes like 90% of its publicity to a gay romance, it tells me everything I need to know. Like, you did not have a good story. You did not have a good story, and we know that for sure now. You were not planning a good story. Like, again, there's no passion. Just quotas to fulfill or agenda. Quotas to fulfill or agendas.
In terms of the overall critical reception, the show is apparently perfect.
What happened to the other stream where we saw about Gamma Check? John? I had to privatize it because I accidentally leaked my email at some point in the stream. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you where, but I accidentally leaked my email at some point in the stream, so it's going to stay private for now.
I'm sure that everyone is going to continue enjoying the Subtle.
Like, honestly, I would have bought Amity to grow as Luce's best friend. Like, the whole point, half of the reason Camila wanted to send Luce to the summer camp was because Luce didn't have any friends, so Luce could make some. So Amity growing into Luce's best friend, I could totally buy it. But a girlfriend would definitely feel forced.
House, laughing at its jokes, getting absorbed in its story, until eventually the finale comes around, crashing and burning, and the fans struggle to wonder what could have possibly gone wrong. Almost like a bunch of other cartoons I know about, The Subtle House is a fine piece of television struggling desperately to gain the respect garnered by better shows by using half-baked aspects that belong to them, and it's working exactly as intended.
Well, wait, is there anything left? Okay, there's like 30 seconds left.
God damn it!
Oh my god, you're fine. Look at you now. He was at 41k subscribers at the time. And now he is at almost 5 times as much as that. More than 5 times as much as that. 6 times even. Like, yeah, you are good, my boy. You are good in my book. Okay, there is a part 2 apparently. But that'll have to wait for another time. That'll have to wait until next weekend because, guys, I have work tomorrow. I gotta get dinner, I gotta shower, there's a lot of stuff I gotta take care of, so as much as I love to keep going, it'll have to wait until next time because, unlike yesterday, I have to work tomorrow. So, with that being said, yeah, John, I'm willing to bet some people noticed, and I was one of those people. But with that being said, guys, part 2 covers the first half of the second season. We'll see. Maybe I'll watch all of it, maybe I'll watch some of it, but it'll have to wait until next weekend. Did you think the show improved? What, in season 2? For the most part, again, this show never made me laugh once. The pacing is still really cluttered. Luce and Amity's romance still feels really forced. I would say for the most part, no. But alright, guys. That's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Do me a favor. Like the stream and subscribe to the channel. It always really helps. And with that, I will see you guys hopefully next Saturday. I'll keep you guys updated on community posts and whatnot. So with that being said, once again, I'm Steve signing out. Take care, guys. Bye.